concern. KSL News Radio's Cameron Elliott has more.
Despite rising economic anxiety, shoppers showed out this Black Friday, spending a record $11.8 billion online, with another estimated $6 billion for in-person retailers. This was a near 10% jump from last year's Black Friday, and on average, over $8 million were being spent every minute. Cameron Elliott, KSL News Radio.
Your money at this moment, the Dow is down 218. That's 0.5%. We are at 47,498. Coming up, it looks like we'll have sunshine today, but cold temperatures. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:02.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
At Intermountain Health, we believe life is a circle. May yours surround you with insight, a healthy perspective, trust, and reassurance. The belief that our differences aren't that different, and compassion just when you need it most. Life is a circle. May yours help you live the healthiest life possible. Intermountain Health.
Experience the timeless Christmas classic that has captivated audiences nationwide. From the Michael McLean family to your family. See The Forgotten Carols musical. With an unforgettable story and songs that are a Christmas tradition. Come meet our next generation and share the magic of Christmas in Orem, Salt Lake City, Ogden, Tooele, Logan, and Saratoga Springs. Tickets at ForgottenCarols.com.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers. Oh, they're here. Hey, who needs something to drink?
we've been overindulging a little more than usual. Thank goodness we both added active liver to our diets to give our livers some much-needed support so we have the energy we need to enjoy the holidays.
Active Liver from New Nordic contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract designed to give your liver maximum protection and help it do vital jobs like removing toxins from alcohol, rich foods, and sweets.
Try Active Liver today and enjoy all the holiday treats with the peace of mind of knowing you're giving your liver some relief.
Find Active Liver online at Amazon, Vitacost.com, or iHerb.com. Or pick it up today at CVS, Meijer Grocery, or ShopRite. Enjoy life to the fullest with Active Liver.
Winters along the Wasatch Front get cold. But imagine if your furnace isn't working. It may be hard to imagine, but the reality is there are families that could go this winter without heat. Join KSL News Radio and Gillette Heating and Cooling and give the gift of heat to deserving families with a Carrier furnace. If you know a family in need, please nominate them today at KSLNewsRadio.com. They could get a new energy-efficient furnace to provide warmth and comfort for many winters to come. Your house is your home, and with Gillette Heating and Cooling, we can make it a place where love isn't the only thing that warms your heart. Make your nomination today at KSLNewsRadio.com and give the gift of heat with Gillette Heating and Cooling at GilletteHVAC.com, a Carrier factory authorized dealer. Turn to the experts. Make your nomination at KSLNewsRadio.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And here's Jason Jones.
And we are looking at a fairly decent commute to northbound I-15. Still rolling pretty smooth through the Salt Lake Valley with no major delays at all. Maybe on and off the brakes a couple of times around the south interchange. Southbound I-15 is where we've had the latest trouble, and that's actually looking much better now. Just a little slowing right around Warm Springs Road over on the west belt as well, out by the airport. It's looking better there, but still going to be a little bit slow. Everything else, though, is looking fairly decent. We do still have the road closure on Redwood Road. Remember, if you're northbound, you're going to be diverted off at about 9500 south. It won't reopen again until 90th south, so just avoid that area. Otherwise, you're going to have to, go out and around pretty much. IFA Country Stores are the place to go for all of your last-minute gifts this Christmas. Find something for everyone on your list. Stop by or shop 24/7 when you visit IFA.coop. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Well, today is the coldest day of the week, with the rest of the week seeing highs in the low 40s. And the overnight lows, let's see, will be in the 20s. Right now, it's 28 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Welcome to another week of Inside Sources. And Holly, it is Cyber Monday.
Woo-hoo.
And boy, are we spending money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
So Black Friday online sales just for Black Friday hit a record $11.8 billion. That's up 9.1% from last year. Adobe is projecting that Cyber Monday is going to hit $14.2 billion in spending, up 6.3% from last year. And the National Retail Federation estimates that U.S. shoppers will finally spend over $1 trillion. We will exceed $1 trillion this year.
I know, in holiday spending. So I did my part on Black Friday online shopping. I did a little bit in person as well. And then I've already started shopping this morning. I made my first purchase at 5 a.m.
There you go. Well, you waited at least until Monday. You know, we're, at the same time, we're hearing that credit card delinquencies and other short-term loans have been rising. Not unexpectedly, but you know what? 'Tis the season.
Yeah, 'tis the season. Look, we have an expert with us. It's Shane Stewart. He's a DMBA certified financial planner to talk to us about the impulse buying that's going to happen today. Hi, Shane. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, good morning.
So what's good for the economy may not necessarily be good for the individual, but tell us about impulse buying and shopping and what's going on right now in a lot of consumers' minds.
I think you hit it right on the head. The economy loves this, and as an economist, I love the spending, how it stimulates the economy. However, personal finances need to be taken into account. Make sure that we're not digging ourselves in a hole. The buy now, pay later concept has been around for a long time, and the mentality around that is to make a deal so great that your brain says, well, how could I not buy this? I've always wanted this and it's on sale. I need to do it. And then later you think about how you're going to pay for that. We really should flip that and say, all right, what's my spending plan, or how much could I budget for, and then start spending within that. But it's not very common in human behavior.
So I know I see online advertising, right? And I have purchased, I think, more off of those this year than I have in the past. How do we control that? Because it's like, oh, that T-shirt's so cool, I need that one.
Yeah, it's so easy to do. In fact, one of the things we should do is immunize ourselves early, maybe in early November. And I know it's a little late for this year, but early November to start thinking, oh, we are going to be spending. What's the plan for that? How much? How much do we think we want to spend? And try to come in around that. You may go over, but at least you know a number. When you don't know a number is when you get in trouble with spending and with credit and having credit. That's why credit cards are rising. We don't think about what's our target. It doesn't mean we have to hit it exactly, but if we think about what our target is, we start to self-regulate a bit. But we have to do that early before the impulses come.
How much do our credit card companies, our lenders, have to do with this in terms of just extending credit limits? It seems like every time I get another credit card, it has a greater amount that I can spend than the one I got 5 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. There are forces working in both directions. One is the credit cards would say spend, spend, spend because they make money on the interest. Retailers are going to say spend, spend, spend because they make money on the purchase. And you really have to be aware of that they have motives that aren't always in your best interest. It's not like they're all evil, but they're not always looking out for you. So you have to look out for yourself, make sure that you're ready for that kind of spending.
Are there any times where it would or could be appropriate to use our credit card?
Oh, absolutely. It's a great way to spend, and it'll help you actually track. Most credit cards will help you track how you're spending. It's one thing that most of us as human beings don't like to do is actually see what we're spending, but it's important to take a look and even see what you're spending in what categories to make sure that you're not going over in a certain area. Just a little self-regulation, and you can actually use a credit card to do that. It's also a very convenient way to do the spending as well.
Shane, you mentioned at the outset sort of the broader picture, and just to digress a little bit, but this is a good sign for the economy as a whole. This spending. It
is actually even in a little bit of uncertainty with things like tariffs and the government shutdowns and those kind of things. It's interesting to see that the consumer sentiment is still somewhat strong, and I think it's partly just because it's so easy. The studies show that this year, not only, I think we're in the 20th anniversary of coined the term Cyber Monday, and 56% of Cyber Monday purchases will likely be on your phone, which is amazing that you don't even have to sit down to make a purchase now, which you did 20 years ago to sit down at the computer.
So what tips do you have for our listeners who you've already talked about having a budget and a plan? Are there any other tips that you have for helping us control the impulse buying?
Yeah, there needs to just be a little space between the stimulus and the response, meaning the stimulus would be, oh, that is a good deal, and the response is a click. There has to be something in between those two to just take a moment and think about that, and maybe think that maybe pull up your accounts and say, where am I right now? And this will cost this much. How am I going to pay for that over the year? And just a little bit of break between the two, because if the stimulus is, that is a great deal, how could I pass it up? You may click immediately. Take a few minutes between the clicks is probably the best advice I could give.
And if you're still paying off 2024's Cyber Monday, is that a sign that maybe dial it back?
Absolutely. In fact, if you're still paying off 2024's, you might just hide your phone and your computer for the next 3 weeks.
Thank you so much, Shane. That was Shane Stewart, DMVA Certified Financial Planner.
You mentioned you can do it
from
right
your phone.
Right.
I know. Yeah, right. So our producer, Caitlin, actually has some tips, too. Stay off social media. Like I said, I see these ads pop up. It's like, oh, that's so cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look at some of the prices that we're seeing right now. Apple AirPods, $99. They were $179, the lowest price ever.
So I'm not sure you're helping.
No, but these are good things. I mean,
they're good deals, right?
There are a lot of good deals right now. And you know what? I'm sort of a big picture person like Shane. This is good for the economy, but he's also smart. And I think that it's good that we had him on because he's a certified financial planner. Look, if you're still paying off last year's Cyber Monday, maybe that's a sign that you shouldn't be buying anything more this year.
Caitlin has some more tips, too. Do you have space for it? Do you have something already very similar to that? And the 48-hour rule, don't buy it right away. You can put it in your cart and then go back to it later. You might forget about it. And we've, as our children have become adults and they're establishing their own households, we've helped sometimes with like kitchen supplies, but they're mostly established now. And so we're looking at things that are more experience-based.
Right. I try to follow the 48-hour rule, but I get a zap on my email that says, "Don't leave us hanging. Hey, hey, your things out here. Go back to your cart." Yes,
it's so true.
When we come back, 2 members of the West Virginia National Guard were shot in Washington, D.C. last week, one of them fatally. We'll talk about what we know about the suspected gunman when we come back.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. Did you know that we offer 3 distinct styles of gutter protection? Each one meant to handle a specific leaf problem. You might not even know there are different styles of gutter protection, but there are. And if you pick the wrong one, it could be a huge waste of money. Now, the big gutter guard companies won't tell you this. They try to sell you a one-size-fits-all gutter guard. And it could be completely wrong for the amount and types of trees and leaves you have. Not RGS Exteriors. We understand which kind of leaf problem needs which kind of gutter guard. We'll do an in-depth evaluation to assess the types, locations, and numbers of trees in your yard. Based on that data, we match your home to the right gutter guard. So don't risk wasting money on the wrong gutter protection. For a free evaluation and estimate, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's 801-280-3110 or rgsexteriors.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Utah can count on.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
If you are facing divorce, call Cordell and Cordell today.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. CordellCordell.com.
This holiday season, give the gift of love that lasts a lifetime with Duke's Jewelers. For over 75 years, the Dukes family has been part of Utah Valley's story, helping yours celebrate life's most cherished moments since 1948. Dukes is more than a jewelry store. They're craftsmen, creating timeless pieces and custom designs that capture the magic of the holidays. Whether it's a sparkling necklace, a custom ring, or restoring a family heirloom, Duke's Jewelers pours their heart into every gift. Because jewelry isn't just about sparkle, it's about love and legacy. This Christmas, make your loved one feel like part of the Dukes family. Find the perfect gift at Duke's Jewelers, located at 220 South Main in Springville, or shop online at dukesjewelers.com. Duke's Jewelers, celebrating love and tradition since 1948.
Advanced Window Products, $2,500 off 10 windows or more. AdvancedWindows.com. Affordable windows, guaranteed.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
The new Inside Sources.
Investigators are still seeking a motive in last week's deadly shooting in Washington, D.C. that left one National Guard member dead and another injured. The suspect is an Afghan asylum seeker who actually worked with U.S. forces in Afghanistan. He was granted asylum in April under the Trump administration. And ABC's This Week, on ABC's This Week, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem blamed his admission into this country on inadequate vetting under the Biden administration.
All the information that was gathered on that vetting process was gathered under the Biden administration. His asylum claim application started under the Biden administration. That information was provided by them, and the responsibility lies with them.
Which is an interesting take, right, since he was granted asylum earlier this year. So it's one of the, I think there's so much backlash, unfortunately, against the entire Afghan community, right? It's not just this one individual who clearly had some disturbances going on in his life, but he worked with the U.S. military in Afghanistan for a decade. I mean, he was there. His life is at risk in Afghanistan for sure.
Yeah, and had he not gotten out of Afghanistan, he would have been
been killed by the
Taliban.
Taliban.
Killed, because he was actually working against them. So he works with the United States. He works with American authorities there, military authorities there, and in a capacity as an assister, a person who's assisting from that country. When we leave Afghanistan, they can't leave him behind.
Right.
They bring him here. They grant him asylum. They do some level of vetting, and he just goes nuts. I mean, who knows what happened, because he's there in Washington, D.C. He doesn't even live there. He drove halfway across the country.
Right.
I think he's from the West Coast.
That'd be entire country.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And and one of the victims is a 20-year-old National Guards member. I mean, this woman is just...
she joined right after high school, I know. Yeah, yeah. So of course people are wondering, was he radicalized? I mean, I think at some level we can say he was, but at least there was some kind of emotional break going on. There's more from ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
Rahmanullah Lakanwal is his name, and he served under the CIA for many years in Afghanistan as part of an elite counterterrorism unit called the Zero Unit, and he was trusted by the CIA. In 2021, he and his family were brought to the United States as part of Operation Allies Welcome. And while there's been a lot of conversation about vetting, an accusation by the Trump administration that the Biden administration didn't do enough to vet people who were brought to this country, when it comes to this specific individual, well, this was someone who was trusted by the U.S. government and worked for the U.S. government and would have been a priority case. Now, he was brought to the country in 2021, granted asylum by the Trump administration in April of this year, and there would have been repeated rounds of vetting all through that process.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can know or discover about a person, and vetting was clearly done by both administrations, by the Democrats, by the Republicans. Biden did his part, Trump did his part, and we don't know what's happened to this man, why he became, we keep using the word radicalized, or what happened to him and why he...
Well, maybe it was just a psychotic break more than a radicalization, right? He had a family here in the United States with him too, and it's just a tragedy all the way around.
And in terms of whether or not he was radicalized, here's more from ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
So the question is, what happened in this case? Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem told us yesterday, quote, "We believe he could have been radicalized in his home community and in his home state." That would be Bellingham, Washington, where he lived with his wife and 5 children. Sources tell ABC News that Lakanwal was unemployed, that his work permit had expired, and that recently he'd been deeply impacted by the death of one of his Afghan commanders. Now, that's a new element this morning. Sources say that he recently had been isolated, increasingly distant from his family and friends, and depressed. Authorities have been searching his social media, his laptops, cell phones, other devices to see if they can find evidence that would support a charge that Lakanwal was motivated by a terrorist ideology, either contacts with or an expression of support for a terrorist organization or movement. They have yet to publicly disclose they found any. Doesn't mean they haven't. Doesn't mean they have. But we don't know. For now, the U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., Judge Jeanine Pirro, has said that the charges will include first-degree murder and assault and weapons counts under D.C. law. The suspect remains hospitalized, which means that he has not yet been formally charged and will not be until he's well enough.
So we have a texter who asks, and I think it's a valid question, why did he lose his work permit and then wasn't able to provide for his family, right? I mean, because when you come here on asylum, you should be able to work, right? That's one of the things that you can do when you're here as an asylum seeker or an asylum grantee.
Yeah, and it may be something you're required to do in some respects, too, that if you're
Right.
here long enough, you either need to be in work or in school or something like that. The fallout from this, we're still hearing more and more, is going to be, I mean, what the Trump administration has already done is saying, okay, we're going to double down on what he calls people from third world countries and start deporting people. I mean, you would expect that there have been a lot of Afghan nationals that would have been brought into this country.
There are a lot, yeah.
And, if we start deporting them, their lives are going to be in danger.
So President Trump did speak with reporters on Air Force One on Sunday and put an immediate stop to asylum claims for Afghan nationals.
All they do is go around killing each other. Then they come into our country and tell us how to run our country. We don't want them.
And that I can completely understand that mindset. Here's the problem. When we're in Afghanistan, we need help from inside. We need people that can assist us. And there are going to be other countries where we're going to be present, where U.S. forces are going to be present, where they're going to need some assistance from inside. And if you're there, let's say, I won't even mention countries. Let's say that you're in some country and U.S. forces are using you to help them and assist them, work with CIA, and you're saying, what's in it for me? Well, we'll protect you if things go south. Well, wait a minute.
Things went south.
Things went south on this situation. You didn't protect, and now you're looking at deporting and getting rid of people who really have no place to go, no place safe to go.
Right, and that again, that's really one of the issues that we're talking about today. And you can have a member of any community that does bad things, right? It can be a member of a religious community. There can be former members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, people who are Catholic, people who are Irish. It doesn't matter, right? There you can have bad actors from any group, but that doesn't mean that you taint the entire group and say, none of you are welcome here. We don't want any of you.
Right, and he goes to Washington, D.C. He's got a firearm. He's accused of firing at 2 National Guard members, 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom and 24-year-old Andrew Wolf. Sarah Beckstrom, that Guard member, 20 years old, 20 years old. That just breaks my heart to think that, was killed. Andrew Wolf is injured, and the suspect himself, Alakanwal, is apparently injured because there was some notice in the last segment we heard that he hadn't been charged yet because he's
in the hospital.
Right. So he's not going anywhere, but he's going to be charged with first-degree murder. I don't know whether D.C. has the death penalty. The feds do, so if he's charged federally, they'll certainly do that, which I guess I just answered my own question. But, I mean, these are tremendously serious charges, and I can imagine that the Department of Justice is going to take this about as seriously as they can. Our administration has done the same thing, and they've indicated, whether it's happened yet or not, that they're sending 500 more troops to Washington, D.C., in addition to, I think, the 2,000 that are already there.
You know what's interesting about that is you already had a court say it's not legal to put these National Guard troops in Washington, D.C. And, in fact, the young guardswoman who was killed, her former boyfriend said she thought it was, and I'm paraphrasing here, but she thought it was dumb that she was being sent there, that there wasn't really a purpose for her to be going to D.C.
Yeah, and now we're going to send another 500 there. Who knows where else they're going to go. But, I mean, and just the far-reaching effects of this from all, not just from Afghani refugees seeking asylum, but people coming in here seeking asylum from other countries. We're going to be looking very dimly on that, our administration is, for the next who knows how long.
Well, I mean, I think it's hyperbole to say, quote, all they do is go around killing each other. That's not true, right? They're trying to protect their lives and their families because they put their lives on the line to help Americans when we were in their country.
Yeah, well, the fallout for something like this is sometimes knee-jerk. I know that the administration's got to do something. They have to say something so that the American public thinks something's going on. Whether or not and how he's ultimately charged remains to be seen. But in terms of him individually, this will be a first-degree murder charge. I'm sure they'll pursue the death penalty. But what it does in the far-reaching realm of our immigration and immigrants here, and especially asylum seekers, oh boy, we've opened up some floodgates here. Well, it's been almost a year, speaking of floodgates, from the date that Luigi Mangione allegedly killed the CEO of United Healthcare. He's in court today, and his attorneys are trying to get some pretty important evidence tossed out. We'll talk about what the claims are, what the allegations are, and maybe there's some basis to this motion to exclude evidence when we come back.
9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour. We are gathering details right now about a deadly auto pedestrian crash near Redwood Road and 9400 South. We have a reporter on the way and should have updates shortly. Some companies are feeling the impact of the death of the penny during this holiday shopping season. ABC's Sophie Flay explains.
The final penny was minted just 3 weeks ago. And Axios reports the national supply is collapsing far faster than expected. Many stores, without exact change, are rounding down, eating the cost to avoid disputes with customers. Some businesses are asking customers to bring in pennies in exchange for gift cards. saying the pennies phase-out was abrupt and came with no guidance from the government.
BYU is now preparing for their first ever Big 12 championship game this weekend. The Cougars will face fifth-ranked Texas Tech, which was the only team who beat them earlier this season. BYU head coach Kalani Sitake says they're looking forward to round 2 with the Red Raiders.
We're looking forward to the rematch, and I know Coach McGuire is going to have his guys ready, and we got to make sure that we use all the time between now and the game next week and get our guys ready to play that game. But we're really excited about the opportunity.
If the Cougs win, they will earn an automatic spot in the college football playoff. Kickoff is at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Catch all the action, including pregame starting at 8, right here on KSL News Radio. Your money at this moment, the Dow is down 222 now. That's 0.5%. We're at 47,491. Coming up, sunshine and cold temperatures today. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:32. Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Throughout life, we have plenty of special occasions and events, whether it's a prom, a graduation, a mission call, a new job, or how about a wedding? Mr. Mac has always been there to help serve you for all of your monumental moments. Mr. Mac has been family-owned for more than 50 years, and that's important. And they'll make sure that you look and feel great, with affordability always in mind. The Mr. Mac family creates long-lasting relationships with their customers, and they've been doing it for generations. 9 locations across the Wasatch Front or online at MrMac.com.
Looking for the ultimate holiday gift? Look no further than Minky Couture, the original luxury blanket company. Whether it's for a college sports fan or your mother-in-law, Minky Couture has the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Get the best blankets and best gifts ever and save 50% off this season with promo code KSL50. Shop online at minkycouture.com or visit any of the 6 locations. Minky Couture has you covered this holiday season with the best gift ever.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and board babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Quiet down, here she comes. Shh. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And here's Jason Jones.
Well, we have an accident. This one is going to be at the bottom of the on-ramp to go southbound on 215 over on 3500 South. So if you want to go southbound 215, you can't do that right now from 3500 South. That's due to the accident there. All the lanes are blocked. Otherwise, though, the rest of your commute's back to looking really good if you're north northbound I-15. Rolling through the Salt Lake Valley, it's going to be regular speeds. In fact, all along the Wasatch Front, north and southbound are at good speeds. No problems on the belt route. Tooele, coming out of Tooele, that's looking good right now. Really just no other trouble to speak of other than that accident on the on-ramp to 215 at 3500 South. Cars for Kids reminds you that time is running out to donate your car for 2025. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS now to secure your 2025 tax deduction and vacation voucher. That's CARS with a K. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Mostly clear across the Salt Lake Valley, except when it gets a little cloudy in Provo. No rain or snow expected today, but we could get some tomorrow into Wednesday. Right now, it is 28 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
It's been about a year since Luigi Mangione apparently, allegedly, assassinated United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. The 27-year-old is due in court today for a multi-day hearing that could determine the balance of evidence in the state murder trial. Now, he's charged, Holly, with both state and federal charges as a result of his conduct there. ABC's Allison Kosik has the details about the hearing that's starting today and could go actually 2 days.
His attorneys want a judge to throw out a laundry list of evidence, including statements he made to police after his arrest. His attorneys claim Mangione was not read his Miranda rights until 17 minutes after police started questioning him. His lawyers also claim the search of a backpack seized during his arrest was illegal, conducted without a warrant.
So tell me what this means.
Okay, so what happened was this: after the homicide, he was a person of interest, obviously,
right.
And there was a manhunt for him. He was found in of all places, a McDonald's. Mm-hmm. Authorities there got to him and talked to him, and during the course of that, they interviewed him. And it's important because he's claiming that he was not read his Miranda rights. Without getting into the weeds too much, Miranda has to be given. A person has to be given their Miranda rights when two things are occurring.
And that's, you have the right to remain silent, right?
Exactly, right. You have to be told what your Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights are under the Constitution. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. And if you can't afford one will be appointed for you. You don't have to be told your Miranda rights unless you are in custody and you are being interrogated. It's called custodial interrogation. When those two factors are in play, Miranda has to be given. So he's in a McDonald's, probably not in custody, but he's surrounded by about a dozen agents, so he's not going anywhere.
Right.
So custody basically means, are you free to leave? Would a reasonable person in your situation think you could get up and walk away? And if he's thinking, because of the mob that's around him, I shouldn't call him a mob, the agents that are around him, if he's not free to leave, maybe they should have given him Miranda. Was he being interrogated about the situation? Certainly wasn't being asked about his Happy Meal. I mean, he's there and he's being questioned. So he's claiming that they talked to him.
Well, his attorneys are, right?
Right, yeah. That his attorneys are claiming that they sort of bantered with him for 17 minutes, and then they gave him Miranda. They decided, okay, we need to read him his Miranda rights, and then whatever happens after that is fine because he's given Miranda. But what his statements before he was given his Miranda rights are now under jeopardy. They're under question whether or not they can be admitted at his trial. So there's a hearing. This is a hearing on what we call a motion to suppress. His lawyers have filed a motion saying, and we'll get to the second part of this, his statements that were given before he was read Miranda, but after he was clearly in custody, not free to leave, should be stricken. And he made a lot of statements about, they found a lot of things, and he made a lot of statements prior to that time. They also found a backpack while he was there, and they were searching the backpack.
So did they ask permission, or?
No, they didn't.
They just started searching.
Right.
Okay.
And importantly, they didn't have a warrant. So like if you've got your backpack or your briefcase or purse and an officer wants to look at it, they can't do that except under what we call exigent circumstances. There's some real emergency reason. Otherwise, go get a warrant. It's not that hard to do. They didn't get a warrant. The one of the officers that was there that was searching it said, well, my exigent circumstance, my emergency, the reason I had to look into it before I had a warrant was because I thought there might be a bomb in it. I was fearful that for us.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a justification for searching a backpack without a warrant.
Yeah.
But the lawyers are saying, why did you think that? I mean, there's nothing about this case that has anything to do with a bomb or something like that. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So they're saying he should be able to get this information thrown out. Now, I mean, there's certainly a broader case than just the backpack and the statement. I mean, you said at the outset, there's a video. We have a video of him.
Right. Coming up behind the CEO and shooting him in the head is what it looks like.
Right. So when you
back, I think.
When you try a case, and I was a prosecutor for 8 years, you have your evidence and you put it together like a puzzle. One piece would be his statement. One piece would be his backpack. One piece would be the videotape. One piece would be information that was found pursuant to a warrant. But some of these pieces are now at jeopardy whether they can be admitted at trial. It doesn't mean the trial won't go. It just means the government's case won't be quite as strong as it was before.
So my understanding is in the backpack they found the gun that they think was used. It's a 3D printed gun. And they also found his journals where he had written something about the murder that he was going to commit, allegedly.
Pretty damning evidence.
Yeah.
Stuff that's going to be really critical to the government's case, or at least very, very important to the government's case. The government has already suffered a huge blow in this case because when they originally charged it, they discharged it as a first-degree murder based on domestic terrorism. The judge threw it out and said, there's no reason to think this is domestic terrorism. This is just a
one-targeted murder.
Yeah, this is a guy that's... So the judge threw out the first-degree murder charges and left the second degree, because murder's still murder.
Right.
But when you do it for a inappropriate reason, because of domestic terrorism, that was a better definition, then it becomes a first-degree felony. So he's already won a significant battle. He's still facing life in prison, just not facing the death penalty. And now he's saying, well, I should also have some of my evidence thrown out. So the government's case could continue to get weaker and weaker depending on what happens here. And this is a hearing. It's an evidentiary hearing. Witnesses will testify. The judge will hear evidence, and the judge will decide what evidence can still come in and what can't. And, of course, these are the things that will be appealed to the appeals courts, Supreme Court, whatever, for years.
Look, I have this article I wanted to tell you about. This is in the Wall Street Journal this morning. It was not published too long ago. And the headline is Billboards, Donations, and 6,000 Letters, Why Luigi Mangione Fans Won't Quit. So he has a tremendous amount of support, including a digital billboard that will be outside the courthouse today that has a 32-year-old who had both legs amputated, and he blames United Healthcare. One leg amputated, and he blames United Healthcare. So, I mean, I find it disturbing to say that people are celebrating the murder of the head of a company. We should not celebrate murder. This is not right.
No, and he did it because of problems that we have that he perceived with the insurance industry and insurance companies and that particular one. And, of course, the public can say, well, we've all had a bad experience with an insurance company. But I agree with you. Absolutely. That doesn't mean you take something like this. He's also...
And celebrate it.
He's also... let's face it, sort of a pretty boy. He dresses up in court. He always has his nice look about him, and he's got a little bit of a fan base. He's raising money, like you say, because of the two things. One, he's appealing, and second, his cause was a little bit appealing to some Americans who might think that they've been treated poorly by insurance companies.
Yes.
The government doesn't care about that,
Look,
and the jury's not going to be told to take that into account.
I do understand that, and I agree with your point that we probably all do have health insurance company horror stories. I'm sorry, health insurance companies, but do better. But it does not justify this level of support. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, it is. It is odd sometimes. You see some people that get support, and in ways that you wonder, it's an allegation that he committed a murder, but there's a pretty compelling video.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
And people are still going, well, I want to help him out. For what reason?
Okay, look, speaking of a little bit outrageous, the U.S. Senate is actually vowing vigorous oversight in a double-tap killing of boat strike survivors, an act some are calling a war crime. We're going to talk about that when we come back.
You know how to tell if a clogged drain is something to worry about or not? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I understand it's annoying and inconvenient, but sometimes a clogged drain can be a sign there's a more serious issue with your sewer main line. If the drains in the lowest level of your home aren't draining, or you flush a toilet and it comes up somewhere else like a shower or a floor drain, I'm urging you to look at this as more than just an annoyance. The last thing I want you to experience is a sewer backup. If you're a homeowner experiencing any of these issues, the first step would be to snake the line to see if it's just a blockage, which one of our drain techs can do for only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Does it feel like someone's stabbing a knife into your heel? Or does your lower back give you problems as the day goes on? The Good Feet store wants to help you like we helped Ann.
Every time I stood up, pain just shot up my legs. Fortunately, I found the Good Feet store. I went to them after my doctor diagnosed me with plantar fasciitis. And now, thanks to the Good Feet store, I'm 100%.
Wouldn't it be nice to get back to doing what you love, like Patrick did?
I was in constant pain. Somehow my fiance and I found our way into the Good Feet store. Put my foot on the arch support system. I put them in my shoes, my back, my knees, my ankles. Thank you. Thank you, everybody at the Good Feet store. You gave me my active life back.
Learn more or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com and come in and get your free personalized fitting at the Good Feet store. We have locations in Farmington, Riverton, and Sandy.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Winter is coming fast, and many kids here in Utah don't have the warm coats and sturdy shoes they need to get through the cold months.
KSL's Quarters for Christmas has been helping local children for years, turning your donations into warm coats and shoes for kids right here in our community.
Every dollar you give goes directly toward providing coats and shoes for kids who need them most. It's easy to make a difference. Just go online to kslquarters.com, donate what you can, and know you're helping keep a child warm this winter.
Please join us in spreading a little comfort and a lot of kindness with KSL's Quarters for Christmas.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Utah can count on.
There's no place like home, but home ownership is slipping away in Utah, and young Utahns are being priced out of their own communities. The U.S. economy is built on the idea that 30% of your income should go towards housing. But in Utah, families are spending nearly 66% just to keep a roof overhead. On top of that, the average homeowner in Utah has nearly $400,000 in net worth. For renters, it's barely $10,000. And with Utah already on track to be short more than 153,000 homes by 2030, that gap is only growing. Every community in Utah plays a part in finding solutions. More homes mean more opportunity for teachers, nurses, police officers, and every family that makes Utah what it is. Learn more about Utah's housing shortage and what we can do to begin to fix it at demandmoresupply.com. That's demandmoresupply.com. Make your voice heard right now. Log on to demandmoresupply.com. demandmoresupply.com. Together, we can keep families close.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
SimpleTreasures.com.
Don't miss the 25th annual Simple Treasures Boutique Gift Show. Over 250 local vendors, holiday gifts, and home decor. December 3rd through 6th at Western Sports Park in Farmington. Visit SimpleTreasuresBoutique.com.
Inside Sources.
Well, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is under a congressional microscope this morning. The U.S. Senate is vowing, quote, vigorous oversight in a double-tap killing of boat strike survivors, an act some are calling a war crime. And lawmakers from both parties, Holly, said Sunday they support congressional reviews after they cited a report from the Washington Post that indicated that Pete Hegseth actually issued a verbal order for all crew members to be killed as a part of a September 2nd attack.
ABC's senior political correspondent Rachel Scott has details on that one.
The Washington Post reports there were 2 survivors left clinging to the wreckage. The Special Operations Commander overseeing the attack then reportedly ordering U.S. services to carry out a second airstrike to kill them all, allegedly to comply with Hegseth's orders to leave no survivors. ABC News has not confirmed the details of those orders.
So it's one of the, like we all get to learn about war rules and what constitutes a war crime. So as I understand it, there are strict parameters for what you can do in war. And so some people are saying, is this actually a war anyway, right? Because there's an ongoing conversation about, can you even strike these boats that you are allegedly saying contain narco-terrorists, but they may or may not. Some people are saying that they're fishermen. But the other issue is, once you've issued that strike, when there are people that are helpless in the water, for example, but still alive, it is against the rules of war to strike those people. And it happened in World War II when American soldiers were in the water and Japanese boats went and just mowed them down, right? And we were outraged as a country, and I think rightly so. That is the concern with these strikes.
And I think a separate concern that's equally powerful is if there are survivors and in fact this is a fishing boat,
right?
Do we really want them to be able to speak to authorities? So the whole kill them all.
I would.
Right,
yeah.
Of course you would. Right. And it would only be fair if you've blown up a boat, you've stopped this drug smuggling part of it. There's no reason to fire a second shot. So if in fact he did give the kill them all, leave no survivors order, that could be potentially a war crime.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the first response from Secretary Hegseth was to say, basically posting pictures, right, about the war on drug terrorists, and then he kind of backed off of that, and then President Trump picked up the baton and said, well, Hegseth said he didn't say that. So we now have lawmakers, though, expressing frustration over the lack of clarity from the administration on these strikes. And
in a rare bipartisan statement, the Senate Armed Services Committee says they will be conducting vigorous oversight to determine the facts related to these circumstances. The top Republican and Democrat in the House Armed Services Committee following suit, saying they are taking bipartisan action to gather a full accounting of the operation in question.
And there's got to be something that will establish this chain of command. There's got to be something that where these orders aren't just, I don't know, they're out there somewhere. Whether they're issued verbally or in writing or something like that, where they're preserved. And I think that there's going to be some oversight, some searching, an inquiry into finding out what the order was and to what extent it indicated leave no survivors.
It's one of the issues, right, that Congress has continued to bring up as these strikes have continued, is that they're supposed to be the ones that declare war, and they feel like they don't even know what's going on, right? That things are being done outside of the normal chain of command, as you mentioned. It's not necessarily just the military. It really has to go through Congress, and they don't know what's happening, but they want to find out.
And it seems like we are getting a little bit of a break from what we've seen from the first 6 months of the administration, where Congress doesn't get involved, doesn't oversee.
They're speaking up more, aren't they?
Because if this is in fact a bipartisan commission, a bipartisan inquiry, and there are lawmakers from both sides saying, hey, we need to take a look at this, that tells me that some people are saying, wait a minute, maybe we've let the administration go a little bit too far here. Certainly Pete Hegseth is under scrutiny because he's if this is true, I don't know that it is or not, then he's certainly run amok, and maybe there should be an investigation.
So it's interesting, and I don't know if you saw this over the weekend, if you were smart and stayed off of social media, but I did see images where it showed the two survivors. So the Washington Post, when they did their story, they said it was a live drone feed that showed those two survivors, and then there was another attack, and then, of course, they were killed as well. But it's bipartisan and bicameral. So there are Republicans and Democrats in the Senate and the House that say they want to get to the bottom of what is happening here.
You would wonder why you would take a second shot, whether there was order or not. I mean, the boat's disabled, the boat's done, and there are people helpless. I'm sure they were hurt there. I mean, whether there was an order or not, who would carry on such a strike? It makes
that's
no
the
sense,
question
right?
now, isn't it?
And if in fact it was done other than just, if it was ordered, oh my word.
Well, and it's so ordered or not, I mean, somebody's responsible for that second strike, right? Somebody's responsible for that, and to kill them all. I mean, one of the things that is disturbing to me is how Pete Hegseth makes fun of these murders. So he published over the weekend an AI image, but of a children's book, Franklin the Turtle, and it shows Franklin attacking people in boats, and like Hegseth is celebrating this, right? That is, I just am astonished at the audacity of somebody in a position of power in the United States government to mock killings.
And you wonder if the administration or Hegseth or others have overplayed their hand in terms of Americans' desire to stop the drug trade and desire to do whatever it takes to stop the drug trade. And sort of the whole notion of blow them up, forget due process, forget a trial, may sound kind of fun and sexy at the start, but boy, watching boat after boat after boat get blown up and people getting killed, and then a second shot that survivors are hanging by a thread and getting killed, has to make everyone kind of wonder if we're taking this too far. So, and even the countries from where these boats are coming are saying this is an act of war. You can't just do this.
So one of the issues, of course, is that those boats, first of all, would not have made it to the U.S. They're not big enough to make it all the way to the U.S. But the other issue is President Trump just announced that he was going to pardon. I'm trying to find the name, right? But he's going to pardon the former president of Honduras, who flooded the United States with cocaine. So we know for sure he had a U.S. trial. He was convicted in the United States, and President Trump is going to pardon this person from Honduras who we know was a drug trafficker.
Yeah, and we're going to kill people that we don't know. Just they happen to be in a boat in an area they shouldn't be, and maybe they were drug trafficking. Who knows? But they're not like these big pleasure cruise boats. They're little speed boats, and like you say, maybe not even big enough to make it to the United States.
Well, we do have a texter that says this is not much different from what every other president and administration has done for the last 30 years. I don't know of other stories like this, right?
Yeah,
so,
I mean, well, the war on drugs is certainly a war, and we've all seen...
We've called it that, I think, since the Bush era.
Right, and acts of war take different faces. This one just seems to be more overt. It seems to be that you can see it. You can watch a boat being blown up in front of you, as opposed to some, figurehead from some country being taken into custody and brought to the United States under guise and who knows what, kidnapping almost. That's certainly a problem. And the way we deal with drug trafficking, the way we deal with the war on drugs is certainly hasn't worked out particularly well. Well, we learned last week, just at the end of the week, it was right before Thanksgiving on Wednesday, that Utah death row inmate Ralph Menzies died. There was some inquiry into whether or not he was competent to be executed. The judge and the Department of Health and Human Services had said he wasn't, but he died anyway for the 1986 murder of Maureen Hunsaker. We'll talk about that after the break.
KSL KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour. We just got new details about a fatal auto pedestrian crash in West Jordan near 9100 South and Redwood Road. We now know the victim is a man in his 40s or early 50s, and he was not in a crosswalk when he was hit. Police tell us the driver of the car did remain on the scene and is cooperating with the investigation. We will continue to get more details and pass them along this morning. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. If you didn't check off everything on your holiday wish list on Black Friday, then Cyber Monday today is the next chance to land that deal. Russell Hawley, managing editor on the commerce team at CNET, tells ABC News discount-savvy shoppers often look for refurbished products when buying the hottest tech, but make sure you get a warranty.
This can be phones, it can be laptops, it can be televisions. There are a lot of options that are available. There are a ton of different third parties that will sell these tools and include guarantees with them so that you're not buying something just off of Facebook Marketplace.
He suggests people use websites that track item prices, such as Camel. You can take any Amazon link, drop it in that website, and it will show you the price history for the past year. Your money at this moment, the Dow is down 199 at this hour. We're at 47,517. Coming up, we do have a few more storms this week. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:02. A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Hey, this is Dan the Laptop Man from PC Laptops. Myth. You might have heard that you need to spend a fortune these days to get a powerful computer. Correction. At PC Laptops, we wanted to prove that wrong. So here's the most amazing deal that we've ever done at PC Laptops for you in over 30 years. The new 2025 S1 desktop or SM3 laptop for only $999. You heard that right, $999. You get a blazing fast processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and over a terabyte of blazing storage for $999. What else do you get? Lifetime service warranty, and we have 12 months special financing on approved credit. Take one home today. Hurry in right now because supplies are limited, because at PC Laptops, we love you. Just check us out at PCLaptops.com. $999, PCLaptops.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
She was the most luxurious ship of her time, a grand symbol of hope and elegance. No other story has captured our hearts quite like hers. Book your passage now for Titanic the Exhibition at the shops at Southtown and Sandy. Walk through stunning recreations of Titanic staterooms, stand at the steps of the iconic Grand Staircase, and connect with unforgettable stories of passengers and crew. For a limited time in Sandy, secure passage at titanicexhibition.com. titanicexhibition.com.
Black Friday deals are back at Scandinavian Designs. For a limited time, discover incredible savings on Nordic-inspired furniture and decor for every space in your home. From statement pieces for your living room to instant upgrades for the dining room, bedroom, and more. It's the perfect time to refresh your favorite space or reimagine your entire home. Scandinavian Designs. We make it simple. You make it home. Stop by your local showroom today or shop online at ScandinavianDesigns.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And here's Jason Jones.
Well, the final tow truck just drove off from this accident we had at the bottom of the on-ramp to southbound 215 at 3500 South. So that ramp is now reopened. I see cars driving up it right now. So good to go if you are traveling on 3500 South and trying to go southbound on 215. Now, Redwood Road remains closed. Northbound side, nope, they just drove away from there as well. So that's good news as well. So Redwood Road has reopened now, northbound side between 9500 South and 90th South. So you are good to go if you are traveling northbound on Redwood Road. They have completed that investigation there. And the rest of your commute is looking pretty fantastic with regular speeds on all the other highways and major feeders. When you take UTA, you can do just about anything while you ride. You won't even notice all the traffic you're missing. Plan your trip at rideuta.com. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Mostly sunny today with a high of 38 degrees. Tomorrow, we could see some evening rain turning to snow. Right now, it's 31 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Utah death row inmate Ralph Menzies died last week before the state could decide whether or not he was competent for execution. It was part of a 1986 murder of Maureen Hunsaker. Here's KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce.
Ralph Menzies was sentenced to die for the 1986 murder of Maureen Hunsaker. He'd been part of a long appeals process, typical for death penalty cases, and was originally scheduled to die by firing squad back in September. He got a reprieve, though, when the judge granted his attorney's request to review his competence on grounds of vascular dementia. That review was still in progress. At 1:45 today, the Department of Corrections says Menzies passed away from what's believed to be natural causes at the hospital. He was 67 years old. Corrections officials say they alerted his next of kin and the family of Maureen Hunsaker before making the announcement. Becky Bruce, KSL News Radio.
And that was from Wednesday, right after he passed away. If you'll recall, there was also an issue, there was also a statement that came out last week from the Department of Health and Human Services that had done an evaluation of Ralph Menzies, indicating that he did suffer from this vascular dementia, that it did cause him to be incompetent, at least to the extent that he wouldn't appreciate the fact that he was going to be executed, and they didn't feel in the order I saw, at least the memo I saw, that was going to change, that he could be rehabilitated. So it made it seem as though the chances of him ever being executed were pretty minimal. Nonetheless, he passed away on Wednesday.
Well, we have with us on the line Matt Hunsaker. He's the son of Maureen Hunsaker, who was the victim of Ralph Menzies. Matt, thanks for joining us today.
Good morning.
This has been a really long process for your family. Can you tell us about your reaction to the news when you heard it?
Very unexpected, obviously. We all out of town for the holidays, and to get a phone call, when I did see who the call was on the ID, I assumed something was not right the day before Thanksgiving, obviously, but this is with all the news media coverage and everything, let's be clear, they have not come out and said anything about his competency or his dementia or anything causing this unexpected natural death, as they're calling it. I further believe that when in that article about the Department of Health and Human Services, that's one of 6 doctors that was currently interviewing him, and they've reached out. It's but to get to where we're at today, completely unexpected, and we'll say disappointing, but it's over.
Yeah, I mean, and this has to have been a horrible just wait for you and your family. This homicide occurred in 1986. There was, Menzies never really owned up to it, to the extent that it would have made any sort of satisfaction to your family. Nonetheless, he was convicted. He was sentenced to death. He was never, ever going to get out of prison. And so I know it's disappointing, but it's got to be a little bit bittersweet for you because it is over now.
Bittersweet, whatever. It's over, yes. Did justice get served for my mom? not at all. He beat the system. But as you said, it is over. There is no more going to hearings. I've been asked multiple times my thoughts on this. I'm grateful that we will not have to spend the month of December dealing with him at all. We will not be going to hearings. We will not be dealing with lawyers, doctors, anybody saying that the man that brutally murdered my mom is not understanding of anything. All I can say now is he's understanding this, and so is his family. He's dead. He's gone. I sympathize for his family of losing, a loved one, but it's over. We're done.
So, Matt, when you've joined us on this show before, you've talked about your mom, and I know that you've said it's over, it's done. How are you going to spend this holiday season honoring your mom?
It's all going to start with the fact that we're not going to be dealing with any of that, and it'll be as a family coming together, knowing that in our hearts and everything, we get to redirect our focus forever now. She loved Christmas. She loved everything about it. I'm pretty sure if she was alive right now, she would be sitting right here with us, enjoying the sunshine. Yes, unfortunately, I said sunshine while you guys are experiencing snow. But she would be right here enjoying this with us. And, in spirit, I do believe my mom has been here with us, as well as my brothers and my sisters and my two other children that are back home. I'm sure they've all, felt a little bit of sense of peace and, excitement that we get to move forward with positive, no more of this negative.
In terms of positive, Matt, what would you like our listeners to know about Maureen? It sounds like she was just a wonderful person.
She was my everything. I was a mama's boy, like I've told you guys many times before. She loved her family. She, as we all know, and I said, she got her first great grandchild this year, and it's a blessing for her. And her family was the most important thing to her, and I know that her and my grandma are enjoying their time and, watching down and just being grateful that, her family has moved forward with their happiness. This didn't negatively affect us over the weekend. We were able to focus on the Thanksgiving holiday and have a great time.
Thank you so much, Matt, for sharing your thoughts. That was Matt Hunsaker, the son of Maureen Hunsaker, and she was the victim of death row inmate Ralph Menzies, who died last week.
Yeah, and that's got to be, it's over. And he used that phrase several times, and I appreciate that very much because that family has suffered like no other. And the homicide occurred in 1986, and the homicide was as bad as it gets. But 39 years that have passed since, this family has had to relive that. They've had to think about that. It's not like you get a life in prison without the possibility of parole and you're done, you just move on. When you have a death penalty case, and I've worked these from both the prosecution and the defense side, it never ends. And Menzies is a perfect example of that. Not what I'd call a great example, but just a perfect example, because up and until the time that he passed away, there were motions filed, there were hearings set, there were proceedings moving forward with this judge to try to decide whether or not he had that competency. And Matt's exactly right. It was just one doctor, but it was the state hospital. It was the one that seemed to be carrying the day. I'm not saying that he would have been executed. It doesn't even matter at this point. It doesn't matter. He's dead. He died in prison, which is what I think the system wanted in some respects. I know that seems kind of horrible. And I think even to the Hunsaker families, if there's any solace at all, he didn't ever get out of prison. He died in prison. That was always the goal. But the 39-year wait between the homicide and his death was in some respects unforgivable for the family. But from my own perspective as an attorney, an unfortunate part of the process, and just that's something we just don't deal with very well when we have death penalty cases in Utah.
Yeah, it just and to Matt's point, it's over, and they don't have to think about it during the holiday season.
Right. It sounds like Maureen Hunsaker was just a wonderful person too. It's a good time to think about her right now instead of her killer.
Yeah. The Alpine School District will cease to exist in less than 2 years. That's where I live. the real work begins, and we have 3 new school boards that have just been sworn in. So we're going to talk with the Alpine School District about what those 3 school districts have to do to set things up.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Do you want to walk, play pickleball, and enjoy other fun activities to stay healthy, but you can't because of bad feet? Hi, this is Mike, and the Good Feet store wants to help.
I just had difficulty walking. I tried them on in the store, and my foot felt so much better.
Do you keep buying new shoes and inserts with little or no relief?
I tried all kinds of shoes. It was the arch supports that made the difference from the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet, knees, or back problems get in the way of staying healthy and having fun.
Thanks to the Good Feet store, I'm bowling 3 nights a week.
Get back to doing what you love. At the Good Feet store, we'll personally fit you at high-quality arch supports to maximize your comfort. Stop in the Good Feet store or book your free fitting at goodfeet.com. We have locations in Farmington, Riverton, and Sandy.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
You probably know if you need new windows. You hear the wind whistling. There's condensation between the panes. Maybe your heating bill's too high, but you don't want to pull the trigger because it costs a lot of money. I understand. And they understand at Advanced Window Products. After all, they've been creating custom state-of-the-art windows right here in Salt Lake for 39 years. They know what's up. That's why they offer 60-month 0% financing or buy now, pay later. You get the windows this winter for 30 to 40% less because you're buying straight from the factory. They'll build, they'll install your windows, and you don't have to pay for a year or more. At Advanced, they're committed to making your new windows affordable. And if you call now, they'll knock another $2,500 off your quote. State-of-the-art, energy-saving windows built here for Utah's changing climate. And right now, $2,500 off. Call for a quote, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or go to advancedwindows.com.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370, 888-999-6370, or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for kids, teens, or young adults. It's just not.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals and volatile organic compounds into your body.
And nicotine, the same highly addictive substance found in regular cigarettes.
Nicotine can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
Affecting learning, memory, attention, and impulse control, and priming the brain for other addictions.
Vaping products also come in kid-friendly flavors that can make them appealing to youth.
And many kids also use other drugs, like marijuana, in vaping devices.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media,
many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping, because when you talk, they hear you.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
And expanded Inside Sources.
Well, the Alpine School District is officially on the path to splitting into 3 separate school districts. That's a school district you're very familiar with. And it got big. It got really big. And there was I think it was on the ballot just within a year or so ago.
Yeah,
that they were going to decide what to do. But now it's going to be 3 school districts, maybe 3 times more work, but maybe dividing it by 3 is a little easier to deal with than what was, I think, at the time, the biggest school district in the state.
So if you remember, there were 21 new school board members elected because it's 7 for each school board.
Right.
And when they started the process earlier this year, there were 77 candidates originally. But those 21 winners now have been officially declared, and they were just sworn in.
Yeah, I think that was something that I thought was great, that people were willing to stand up to the plate, that there were a number of people that were running for those positions, that it showed that people are interested in the community, interested in the school system, wanting to make a difference, and so 77 people running for 21 slots, that's pretty impressive.
It is, and we have our 3 boards, and now they get to do the hard work of standing up a new district.
Right. So remind us how, and I don't need to know the exact boundaries, but how that was divided up, because it was almost by city. It seemed like there was like a northern district.
There were interlocal agreements with cities. Yeah, so basically there's one that is Cedar Hills and the Alpine area.
Right.
That area. There's one out towards the west, Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs, and then the one that I'm in is Pleasant Grove, Linden, Orem.
That's right.
That's where we are.
Yeah. Well, we have with us Rich Stoll, Director of Communications with the Alpine School District. Rich, thanks for joining us this morning.
Hi, thanks. How's my favorite radio duo?
Oh, you're so sweet.
So where are we in this process now?
We're hitting the ground running. These new school board members that you mentioned are now official. They've taken their oaths of office, and we can't stop them. They're meeting. They're having conversations about what the next steps are to build new school districts. And so we're trying to support those new board members as they kind of get everything under their feet, because they're excited to get to the work of building these organizations to support students.
It must be a little weird, Rich, to say you're basically helping your job to go away, your current job, right? Because Alpine School District will not exist anymore, but we'll have 3 new ones, right?
That's true. Alpine School District, as we know, will not exist after the graduating class of 2027. So we have this academic year to finish up, and then we will operate all of our schools and support those students for one full more academic year. And then, yes, Alpine School District is no more. Most of our employees, that it won't affect them too much. Teachers and principals at those schools, they'll just continue doing what they do, just under the umbrella of those new school districts. For some district employees, and especially district administration, it is a little different. Like you said, we're helping these new school districts stand up, but we also know that these new school districts are going to need talent, and they're going to need people with the expertise to run a school district. And so there will be a process probably beginning next school year whereby these new school districts will start offering jobs to current Alpine School District employees.
Let's talk about that process, Rich. So you say that the actual split up, the divorce occurs after the 2027 year.
It's just the next generation.
Right, the next, yeah. So that's got to be a tremendous amount of work for you all to take one and divide it into 3.
I think you're right. It will be a tremendous amount of work. We're anticipating that, and so we're sort of gearing up for it. I think the legislature did something very wise when they mapped out how a school district split or the creation of new school districts should take place, and they built in lots of time to work through some of those issues. So nothing's going to be rushed. It will probably be a lot of work and a lot of new problems that we can't anticipate now, challenges. However, because we have so much time and we have these new school boards who are currently meeting and we're consulting with them, the collaboration is tremendous. And everybody's looking forward to this optimistically. You know, there's no hurt feelings. Everybody in Alpine is looking at how we can support these new school districts so that they can start off right and we can end our historic school district on the right note and make parents feel good about what they voted for.
Thanks, Rich. I have a question about the superintendents for each of these new districts. Is that going to be one of the first hires that they make, and where in the process does that decision come?
Yeah, it will be the first hire, and that is really the most important thing they have to do right now. Probably nothing else matters more than that. And so they're focused on starting the superintendent search in the right way. Our understanding is most of those school boards will want to make an offer to a new superintendent in February. So in short order, just a few months. And so they're kicking off a search right now. In fact, one of the boards is meeting as we speak, and I know that's on the agenda. How do we properly initiate a superintendent search? So they'll offer a new superintendent a job in February, and then the second one, and it might be simultaneously, is they'll hire a business administrator for the district.
You would think, Rich, that with the current administration that there would be plenty of people available to help. I mean, is there still going to be, this is a dumb question, an Alpine school district? Is there still one of the three going to be called Alpine, or are we just creating 3 new districts and Alpine sort of ceases to exist?
Yes, 3 new districts, Alpine ceases to exist. And I think the legislature, the thought behind that was they didn't want one of the districts to have any type of an advantage by being seen as a legacy district or continuing some of the good things that Alpine had done. And so Alpine will dissolve. So these and the other benefit to that is these 3 new districts will be totally independent. I mean, these boards, they have total autonomy, independent of Alpine, to make their decisions. They can go in a totally different direction than what Alpine has historically done. But yeah, there's lots of talent around. I mean, there are retired administrators in Alpine, there are current administrators in Alpine, and of course these new boards can certainly go outside of our district and outside of our state to find the superintendent that best meets the needs of their community.
So how long has Alpine School District been in existence, Rich?
121 years. 1915 is when it was established, and so we've got a long history of things to learn from and also things to build on that these new school districts can take. So there's a lot of experience here in Alpine, and we see that experience in these new school boards. Many of the new school board members, several of them are current Alpine School District board members. Many of them are retired teachers and administrators and parents who got a lot of experience working with schools in our district. So these school boards are ready to go. They've got a good mix of expertise, and so we're excited to work with them and help them work through some of those challenges that we know are going to come up.
So no pressure on them to make a system that will last for 100 plus years, right?
I think they're just probably thinking about next week right now.
Hey, take us back just a minute, Rich, and tell us what happened here. Why did this happen in the first place? Because Alpine was, it seems like a very preeminent school district. It had very good, I always had the greatest impression of it. What happened here?
There were a few factors that sort of converged at one time a year or two ago. One of them you mentioned in the intro. The district did get quite big. We are the largest school district in Alpine by number of students served. Our geography is massive, so we've got students and teachers and administrators who work and commute miles and miles away, and we have transportation issues. There's a lot of growth out west, and I think the growth has put some strain on a district that we found it challenging to manage that growth. And the biggest part about growth is building facilities. A couple of years ago, a bond failed that would have secured some of those facilities, and that was frustrating because because we're so big geographically, the needs in these various pockets in our district are different, and so it can make it challenging to communicate the need for a bond or for new facilities in one part of the district by asking for votes in another part of the district. And so I think the thought behind splitting the district is if you make it smaller, then these voters are more connected and they see the challenges more immediately in their neighborhoods, and they might be more likely to address those challenges in a way that makes sense for that community instead of having to rely on votes from a community that it is quite far away and in some cases quite different politically and culturally.
Thanks, Rich. That was Rich Stoll, Director of Communications for the Alpine School District. And I hope that he finds a new I hope one of these districts snatches him up because he's wonderful to work with. Well, today is Cyber Overspending Day.
Oh, come on.
What are the lessons about Christmas shopping that we can learn from 100 years ago? Jay Evenson, Deseret News opinion editor, has some thoughts.
10:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, the BYU football team is heading to the Big 12 championship game this weekend for a rematch with Texas Tech. Here is head coach Kalani Sitake.
We're looking forward to the rematch, and I know Coach McGuire is going to have his guys ready, and we got to make sure that we use all the time between now and the game next week and get our guys ready to play that game. But we're really excited about the opportunity and to be in this position.
On Friday, we have a special edition of Cougar Sports Saturday, live from Arlington, Texas, with Mitch Harper and Kyle Ireland, who will break down the keys to the game. And on Saturday, our pregame coverage of the championship game starts at 8 a.m. with the kick at 10. Our top national story this hour from ABC News, we're learning more about the Afghan national suspected in last week's shooting of 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C.
The Trump administration granted the suspect asylum in April. He was allowed into the U.S. during the Biden administration and previously worked with the CIA. Sources say he was recently mourning the loss of a mentor while also dealing with financial stress, unable to work because of an expired work permit. The Associated Press reporting his mental health had deteriorated. Police not yet revealing a possible motive.
ABC's Perry Russum reporting. Your money at this moment. The Dow is down 235 now. That's 0.5%. We're at 47,474. Coming up, we could see some more snow this week. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:32.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
I'm Christian Staples with Arctic Spas. Christmas comes early at Arctic Spas, and you know you're going to want something different this year for Christmas, and that is a hot tub, swim spa, sauna, or cold tub in your backyard. Christmas is about spending time with loved ones, and there is nowhere better than spending time in hot water. No phones, no distractions, just relaxing face-to-face time. If you've never tried it, this will be life-changing. To make this Christmas even easier, we are offering 25% off on all in-stock models with guaranteed delivery for Christmas. So the best Christmas present ever, quality time with loved ones, relaxation, guaranteed delivery for Christmas, savings of 25%, and you get to enjoy it over and over year after year. Nothing is better. Pick out your perfect hot tub, swim spa, all-weather pool, sauna, or cold tub at ArcticSpasUtah.com or visit one of our 3 stores covering all of Utah in Salt Lake, American Fork, and St. George. Arctic Spa, the only spa built for Utah's harsh climate.
Well, the holidays are really here. Things are speeding up. I know exactly what we all need to do, and that's head into the Western Nut Company. I'm here with Sarah, and you can take care of it all.
We love the holidays, and we try to make it seamless for our customers to enjoy our gift baskets and our fudge and our brittle and all the things that make it the holidays.
Western Nut is perfect for corporate giving and also for your family and your friends and your neighbors.
For corporate gifting, we have a team that's ready to take your list and ship it right from our store.
You know what I love is Dee and I go into Western Nut and the mothership, which is right there on 4th and 3rd West, and we just let you guys take care of it all. We select the gift and you guys ship them off, especially to Dee's family in Missouri.
Western Nut's been doing this since 1966, and we've got it down. All the things that you need to cover everybody on your list.
A good place to start is by going online at westernnut.com. That's westernut.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And back over to you, Jason.
Rolling free and clear on I-15 along the Wasatch Front. You're going to be 70-plus miles an hour north and southbound between Ogden all the way down to Payson. No trouble at all. No accidents to speak of anywhere if you're headed up to the canyons. You do have some restrictions up at Little Cottonwood Canyon, but that's about the only thing we've got going on. Everything else is looking good at this point this morning. Every day, people struggle with mental health challenges, addiction, or homelessness. Volunteers of America Utah provides counseling, recovery programs, and safe housing. Your donation shows someone they matter. Visit voaut.org to give today. I'm Jason Jones in the KSL Traffic Center.
Dry today with a high of 38. Tomorrow we could see some evening rain turning to snow. Right now it's 31 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Well, Black Friday was a couple days ago. Online sales hit a record $11.8 billion. So apparently all we want for Christmas is more than just you. That's up 9% from last year. Today's Cyber Monday, and we expect the online sales to be in a record as well today. And the National Retail Federation predicts that this will be our first $1 trillion shopping season.
You know, it actually reminds me of The Grinch.
How's
and
that?
But all the people down in Whoville, right? They just they have to buy, right? And if you look at the one with Jim Carrey, the movie with Jim Carrey, it starts off with like a scene where they're saying 90% off, right? And people are saying, just, I don't need it, but I want it, right? Because I can get it for cheap.
Right.
Well, we can learn some lessons actually from Christmas 100 years ago. And Jay Evenson, the opinion editor of the Deseret News, is here to talk to us about that. Tell us about Christmas in 1925, Jay.
Well, first of all, the one statistic that jumped out at me from today is Consolidated Credit did a study and found that 36% of Americans are still paying for last Christmas.
Yeah, that's an issue.
And that's what kind of got me going. Well, this is a kind of a game that I play every year, and I share it with my readers. And the object is you pick a year from the past, and then you have to go make up a Christmas shopping list from that year. And the cool thing about the game is that you get to take today's salary, right? You don't have to account for inflation. So I picked 1925, 100 years ago. I guarantee everybody from today would be filthy rich in 1925 if they used their salary today.
Right.
So it makes it kind of fun. And I went through the Deseret News from 1925, and I thought, how would I shop? First thing that came to mind is, well, I could afford some real estate for relatives. And sure enough, I found a bungalow on Salt Lake City's southeast side, which probably would have been around 21st South back then, for $5,000.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it was 5 rooms. It had a nice mantle and wood floors. That's about all it said. It said that it was being sacrificed at great cost. And I thought, well, that would be kind of, you talk about everyone going silent on Christmas morning if you're handing out houses. That would be kind of
$5,000 for a house.
$5,000 for a house.
For a 5-bedroom house.
Right. Then you realize, would anyone from today want to live in a house in 1925?
That's 100 years old.
That's 100 years old. I'm not even sure it had electricity. I think by 1925 it probably did, but did it have a hookup for a telephone? I just don't know. So I went through some of the other pages of the paper, and I found this one place that said, it could be an electric. It says, make it an electrical Christmas. And it's not quite what we think of. The only thing I could find was an electric iron for $3.49 and a waffle iron for $9, which I thought was pretty expensive in 1925.
Well, that was high tech.
That
waffle
yeah.
iron, you got to figure that was cutting edge.
Right. And then there was a radio shop down on 2nd South, and they offered what was called a New Tone radio. And the ad copy kind of caught my attention. It said, "Times have changed. Formerly, Santa Claus brought toys which in the course of a few months were broken or worn out. Nowadays, he brings a radio set, which is a source of joy for many years. Be up with the times." And I thought, well, that's true. But what could you hear on the radio in 1925? And I went elsewhere in the paper. They had a log on what you could listen to, and among other things, you could hear Stock Report. But on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 11 p.m. they had dancing, and I thought, wow, that must be riveting radio. To have dancing on the radio. But you could be as rich as J.D. Rockefeller in 1925. You could never get a radio that had Bluetooth on it.
Right.
There you go. Right.
Right. But it was high tech then.
It was
right?
high tech then.
We're still
exactly.
pitching high tech now.
Right.
The point of this game is it becomes readily apparent after a while that there's nothing you can buy in 1925 that would have a whole lot of value today. I mean, it would if it was in pristine shape, and I know there are collectors out there that would be interested. But most of these things are not going to survive 100 years. And actually, Santa Claus really does still bring things and always has brought things that are going to wear out quickly and be of little value rather soon. And so you start focusing on what's really important at Christmas. And obviously, it's family. It's the things that matter. If you're a Christian, you believe in Jesus Christ. That's, his message is something that's far more important than anything that you can buy. And so it's kind of a yearly reminder I try to make to my readers that it's fine to buy presents, and I'm not saying we shouldn't do that. But if you're still paying for last Christmas, maybe your priorities are a little bit out of whack.
If you're looking at a 100-year-old paper, Jay, the Deseret News from 1925, what, besides what you just said, the religious message, were there similarities, in terms of the overall holiday message?
It was there were similarities, but it was far less commercial than I thought it would be. I mean, I had to really search for these ads. Nowadays, you open up your inbox and you're just bombarded with these exclamation marks. I mean, buy now, today only. That kind of thing. I didn't find so much of that, but you did. It's like the ad copy I was reading to you about the radio. There still was kind of a hard sell about, you want to have the newest, the latest, the greatest. This is what will make you popular at Christmas. But it just wasn't the volume of that kind of advertising that we get today.
Yeah, it's interesting to me, right, about the stuff, right? Do I need more stuff? My answer is no, I don't actually need more stuff, especially when I've tried to do Swedish death cleaning in my house.
Oh, yes.
Right. So you get rid of the stuff that you don't need, and are you going to pass it down, and do your kids want it? And it's interesting because I was mentioning earlier to Greg that we're starting to shift more into giving gifts of experiences, right? So a gift certificate to Thanksgiving Point, or something like that is more consumable, I guess, right? And then you don't have to find space to store it, and you don't have to clean it.
You and I are all three of us are kind of the same generation. And our generation is kind of unique in that we've inherited a lot of things from the previous generation that are no longer really valued.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got, I don't know how many sets of china in our house that we've gotten from parents and grandparents. Our children just aren't interested in that. And so what do you do with it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Even though a radio was, I don't know what you say 100 years ago, what it cost, it would be fascinating to have that radio today.
If
You know
it
what I mean?
still worked,
Probably
yeah.
even if it didn't work.
Right,
it
because
would
then
be-
now
it
it's
would-
an antique.
That's right. It would be decor.
You can go on eBay and find them. I
Probably,
guarantee
yeah.
you. and I don't know what it cost back then because it just said $10 down, and I thought,
Oh,
okay,
wow.
well, that's a sign right there. It's probably pretty expensive. But a few years ago, I did a similar type column on a Sears catalog I got from 1939, and I found a gorgeous. It looked like a piece of furniture. This big radio. It was $75, and I'm sure it had the deep resonant sound and the speaker. That would be wonderful to have, but $75 in 1939 was a lot.
A lot of money.
For
All
hi-fi,
right.
right.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Jay. That was Jay Evenson, the opinion editor for the Deseret News. So as we've mentioned, it is Cyber Monday, and there are lots of good deals to be had if you are shopping for deals, but there are also scams to be aware of. So we're going to talk about what you need to look out for and how to protect yourself and your loved ones when holiday shopping, because that is a big damper if you are scammed. Stay with us.
Looking for the ultimate holiday gift? Look no further than Minky Couture, the original luxury blanket company. Whether it's for a college sports fan or your mother-in-law, Minky Couture has the perfect gift for everyone on your list. Get the best blankets and best gifts ever and save 50% off this season with promo code KSL50. Shop online at minkycouture.com or visit any of the 6 locations. Minky Couture has you covered this holiday season with the best gift ever.
Attention Jazz Nation. We know you've been waiting on the edge of your seat, and the time has finally arrived. All tickets are available now. Let's go! Your favorite players will be back on the court, bringing the energy all season long. Whether you're looking for season tickets, mini plans, or single game matchups, there's a perfect option for every kind of fan. Show up loud and proud at Delta Center this season. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action. Buy your tickets today at UtahJazz.com.
You trust us for news and information in your car. Now trust us at home. KSL News Radio has you covered, keeping you informed on the latest breaking news, weather, traffic, sports, and more. Listen on your Amazon Echo or Google Home device. Just say, Alexa, open KSL News Radio, or listen on the KSL News Radio Listen app. Text the word app to 57500. KSL News Radio. We have you covered.
Winter's coming fast. There's the jingle. Kids in Utah don't have warm coats, many kids, and sturdy shoes they need to get through the cold months.
KSL's Quarters for Christmas has been helping local kids for years, turning your donations into warm coats and shoes for kids right here in our community.
And you need to know that every dollar you give goes directly toward providing coats and shoes for kids who need them most. It's easy to make a difference. Just go online to KSLQuarters.com, donate what you can, and know that you're helping a child stay warm this winter.
Join us in spreading a little comfort and a lot of kindness with KSL's Quarters for Christmas.
Salt Lake City Fat Loss is having a huge holiday sale, over 20% off, making it our lowest prices of the year. You can start the program before, during, or after the holidays. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no prepackaged meals, no injections or surgery. The secret is our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good. To learn how our clients on average lowered their metabolic age by 17 years, go to slcfatloss.com now to schedule your free consultation and learn why your metabolism may be sabotaging your weight loss goals. Go to slcfatloss.com and save now only through December 31st.
I'm Maria Chaleos. Take advantage of this huge holiday sale with the lowest prices of the year now through December 31st. You can start the program now or after the holidays, but you need to call now to lock in the huge discount. Go to slcfatloss.com now to schedule your free consultation. That's slcfatloss.com.
Results may vary.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Common Spirit Health. Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advance healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with human kindness is here. Hello, human kindness.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. A My Social Security account allows you to access your earnings history and benefits information, request a replacement Social Security card, get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
And expanded Inside Sources. Inside Sources.
Okay, so today is Cyber Monday. It falls on the heels of Black Friday.
And Small Business Saturday, and tomorrow's Giving Tuesday, just so you know.
So there are a lot of good deals to be had, but of course, with the good comes the bad, and there are always scams to be aware of.
Doggone it. So we have KSL investigating.
You got to talk about them.
Well, I haven't been scammed because I'm skeptical.
Well, we've got to alert our listeners to them because with the good, there comes the bad, unfortunately. And
Right.
so we have KSL investigative producer Sloan Strage with us today. Sloan, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here, Greg and Holly. Thanks.
So, okay, so we've been hyping this week, the whole Cyber Monday, Black Friday, people excited, record number of people, a record number of money being spent this year, but I suppose that the scams are still there.
They never go away, as you were saying. They just keep getting more sophisticated. You know, with AI, the technology that scammers have and the access they have to us, it grows every year.
So I actually have to say I don't know for sure that I've been scammed, but
not yet.
But I get phishing texts, right, where people are trying to get me click on links, and I know that my parents actually have been scammed. They're in their 80s. What are some of the Christmassy scams that people need to be aware of?
Well, one of the big ones, of course, is the gift cards. You know, you'll get those links and those emails saying, hey, you know, if you just give us a little bit of information about yourself, you can get a free gift card, or there'll be like a prize, and you've been randomly selected to win a prize. Got to click a link here, that sort of thing. So that's very common around this time of year. Again, you know, if you click a link, it's probably going to be malware, or you're giving up information about yourself. There's a lot of different things that can happen, and all of them are going to be bad.
So you would get an invitation saying, hey, you just won a cruise, or you just won this, or you just won that, but we just need some information. Is that
exactly
what you're talking about?
Yeah, and they're going to look very legitimate. They're going to look like brand name companies, reputable companies that you would do business with on a day-to-day basis, but they're going to be spoofed. Again, they're using AI a lot, and they can really make it look sharp and almost hard to detect if it's a scam or not.
And what they're doing is they're gathering your personal information.
Yep, they gather that information. That's very useful to them. They don't even have to give you anything. Or, you know, they could be just uploading malware. If you click a link, you can just upload malware onto your computer or device.
Right.
Another big one is the apps themselves. You know, there's a lot of holiday theme apps that will pop up in app stores. Have a direct line to Santa, or watch them feed the reindeer, that sort of thing. That's a common one that pops up. You know, they get the kids to download them. Again, you know, they could be asking for personal information, or they could be just loaded with ads that you wouldn't see on a normal pay app that you would have. Again, there's also that fear of malware too.
I wonder about those texts. These are ones where I think they're phishing, right? That say, we tried to deliver your package. Look, I shop online. There are so many packages coming this time of year. I might lose track, right, of which one is which. What do you do about that? How do you know it's legit?
Well, just know that you're not going to get an app or a text from like UPS or USPS or FedEx, and we all use these different carriers. They don't reach out to you like that. Go through the marketplace where you bought the gift from. Go to Amazon and find out what's going on with your package there. Don't rely on these texts to get information updates, because again, they're going to have links that could be full of malware or have you give up your personal information.
Sloan, it seems like every year at this time we all have a relative, and it's let's face it, it's often some of our older relatives who fall for these scams because they're not used to the internet. They're not used to some of the things that you're talking about today that maybe the three of us are almost suspicious at the outset when we get something. But what can you tell your relatives when they call you up and say, hey, I need to go get an Amazon gift card. I've got this great deal. I mean,
yeah,
you know what I mean? What kind of advice do you give them?
Well, one of the most cliche things you can honestly say, but rings true, is that if it's too good to be true, it's probably not true. If you're getting Amazon gift cards for little effort, you've done nothing, you've absolutely nothing, just shows up out of the air, be suspicious, because it's probably going to be an impersonator or a scam artist trying to reach out, make you, just trying to entice you to click that link or to give that personal information, or, sometimes to send money. They're going to have you wire money to get those gift cards, that sort of thing, and that is, you can't get that money back once that's gone. So yeah, they're too good to be true. Just if you're getting a gift card for a little effort, if you didn't sign up for a sweepstakes, if you didn't sign up for anything, and you're getting all these rewards,
it's not legit.
It's not legit.
So I sent gift cards to a couple of kids who were out of state last year, and you had an option on Amazon. Do you want to just text them this gift card? And I said yes, but I texted them first and said, it's not a scam. This is actually coming from me.
That's a great thing to do because we've become skeptical,
right?
A lot of us, and if we see a text message that pops up, even though it could be legit, we're going to kind of dismiss it because we've trained ourselves not to be, believing in any text message that pops up without any prior warning. So that's a great idea.
I have a question from a texter who asks: is clicking an unsubscribe link, does that cause any problems?
Generally, no, but it depends on what you're clicking. If it's a reputable person, a reputable office, or a reputable company that you've had these emails come forth, then yeah, you could probably click unsubscribe without too much problem. But if it's for something that you're not remembering, you're not familiar, that you ever subscribed for, then I would be very wary about.
Interesting.
It seems like, Sloan, we also have a little bit more of a vulnerable population because of the time of year, that people are looking for deals and things to buy and ways to spend their money for Christmas. I mean, this is a bit of a rhetorical question, but the scammers come out this time of year. I mean, they know that people are getting their checkbooks, that's how old I am, getting their credit cards out. And,
what's a checkbook?
Yeah, right. Sorry about that. getting the credit card out and getting ready to give them the number.
This is absolutely, this is the busiest season of the year for scam artists, and they know it. And one of the big things you mentioned is that we're looking for the great deals, and that opens the gate to counterfeits and lesser objects, because we're looking to save money. Sometimes we're looking for an object that's hard to find. We can't find anywhere else. Then suddenly it pops up on this website. Like, oh my gosh, it's available here. I can buy it right now. Be careful. If it's not available anywhere else, good chances are it could be a counterfeit, or it could be a fake ad, or it could be something that just wouldn't do you any good if you bought from that website, or if it's a place you don't know.
Are there remedies for people that get scammed? I mean, a lot of times the money's gone, and maybe it's even overseas. And I know that people call me and, as a lawyer, like, hey, you got to help me get this money back. Like, I wouldn't even take your money for something like that. But are the authorities, or do we have people that are looking out for these things, or is it sort of let the buyer beware?
Well, there's a bunch of buyer beware. Authorities are largely constrained what they can do. A lot of these scammer artists are overseas, and while it's possible to find them sometimes, it's not a given that the authorities here will have the access or the ability to track those people down. The best thing you can do, I think, is to shop with a credit card. The protections with a credit card are so much stronger than with a debit card, right? You have the ability to dispute a charge, and if they can find that this was not a fraudulent purchase, a good chance you'll get that money back. And the other thing is that it's not really your money that you'll lose. It's the credit card company's money that gets lost. And that when you use a debit card, you'll probably get your money back, but it's a lot slower process. It can hold up your bank account for an indefinite time until they, were able to refund it.
Because it seems like a lot of businesses prefer the debit card. They give you a 3%.
Well, yeah, I mean,
right.
I think it's cheaper for them.
I hadn't thought
if you
about
use
that.
A debit
the
card.
Credit card makes more sense
but,
sometimes.
Yeah, the credit card, if you dispute a charge, that's going to put the credit card company's money in the bind while they wait for this transaction to be investigated. If you use your debit card, that's going to be your own money that's withheld from your account until it's resolved. So it's strong protections.
One quick final question. I mentioned that tomorrow is Giving Tuesday, which is where a lot of nonprofit organizations try to fundraise. Are there scams in that arena as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They know that we open up our hearts, in our wallets, and any way they can make money, they're going to do it. So if you have a charity that you're familiar with, that you've seen for the first time, go to places like Charity Navigator or GuideStar. I think they're called Candid now. The Better Business Bureau has its own charity vetting website. Go through that first, and then when you're ready to donate, go through the charity's website directly, and then use a credit card because of the stronger protections to give that donation in case something goes wrong. But yeah, you do need to vet out a charity.
Thanks, Sloan. That was KSL investigative producer Sloan Schrage, and I learn something every time I talk to you guys. So
I know.
Credit card, debit card, who would have thought? When we come back, this is another sad story. They said they were cold, tired, and scared and wanted to go home. Now their dad is facing charges for child abuse and torture for allegedly forcing his young kids to go on a 9-mile hike in a storm. We'll break down the charges when we come back.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
11 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Claire Scott. KSL's top story this hour. The Clearfield Police Department is starting a new program aimed at helping people experiencing a mental health crisis.
And so we thought of a model that we could do that we could assign a detective to become more specialized in training in responding to mental health crisis.
Clearfield Police Chief Kelly Bennett tells KSL TV they've been seeing a growing number of mental health calls, and they want to see if early intervention with their specially trained detective can help keep people from committing crimes and ending up in jail. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Starbucks has agreed to pay New York City $38 million for violating workers' rights.
New York City has something called a Fair Work Week law that requires companies to provide predictable schedules to employees and to give them the right to pick up other shifts if their current shift suddenly changed. Only Starbucks wasn't doing that, according to the lawsuit New York City filed. It alleges that the coffee giant ignored baristas' complaints. Under terms of the settlement, affected workers will receive $50 for every week worked between July of 2021 through July of 2024.
ABC's Sherry Preston reporting. Your money at this moment, the Dow is down 198 points. The S&P is also down 12 points. And coming up, storms return tomorrow. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 11:01.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Calling all Jazz fans. If you can't wait another second to see stars like Ace Bailey and Lowry Markkanen tear up the court, you're in luck. Tickets are on sale now. Let's go! No matter what you're looking for, the Utah Jazz has your back. With season tickets, mini plans, and single game options available, there's something for everyone. Whatever your schedule or budget, there's a plan for every fan. Don't miss a moment of the action this season. Secure your tickets today at UtahJazz.com.
You know, most diets will help you lose a few pounds, but Soda weight loss will help you lose years. I lost 37 pounds on the Soda weight loss program 3 years ago, and I feel younger than I've felt in decades. And it's not because of how I look, it's because of how I feel.
But you do look younger,
Thank
too.
you.
I let go of 70 pounds in 5 months, and then I looked at the before and after pictures of myself and was like, wow.
It's something when you don't have to carry all of that excess weight around. And I was at a stage in my life where I didn't want to add drugs to my regimen. I wanted to reduce the number of medications I had to take. So the nutritionist at Soda Weight Loss taught me how to have a healthy relationship with food.
And it was so helpful that I could text my nutritionist anytime I wanted to for advice, which helped me learn what I needed to know so that I could keep it off. And right now, this is the perfect time to join, because if you join now, your partner joins for free. It's the perfect gift for both of you.
It's at Soda Weight Loss.
SOTAweightloss.com, because soda is, say it with me, Amanda, state of the art.
You do countless things without a second thought to protect your family and home. Every time you're in the car, you buckle your seatbelt. Before the next load of laundry, you remove the dryer lint. When you head out, you always lock your doors. And one simple task, done far less often, can protect your family and home this winter. Schedule a furnace inspection by a certified heating contractor to check for safety and efficiency. A friendly reminder from Enbridge Gas.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Stacy, are you wearing yoga pants to go shopping?
Oh, we're not going out shopping. We're staying in with JTV.
I love Jewelry Television. Their pearls, their lab-grown diamond jewelry.
Oh, hello. What about their Italian gold and moissanite fire?
Okay, but what about the guys on my holiday list?
Relax. JTV has gifts galore, even for men, like watches and sunglasses.
Watch JTV live and on streaming or shop JTV.com for up to 80% off select items.
Ready to shop?
Yes, but can I borrow a pair of sweats?
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Here's Ricky Meese.
We do have a right lane blocked. This is eastbound I-80 prior to the Foothill Junction and I-215's eastbound. It is backing traffic in the area. Prepare to see the brake lights and merge left. And we also have the final cleanup of a crash in Weber County, eastbound I-84 at Riverdale Road. It's near the exit ramp and at one time had been blocking traffic. You'll see some backup in the area at the ramp especially. The Garden Restaurant in downtown Salt Lake. Dine in or order out. The Garden is open weekdays 11 to 3. Hearty, healthy, and so craveable. Fresh flavors, iconic location, the Garden Restaurant. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
We're looking at a high of 38 today with mostly sunny skies tomorrow. The clouds return and we'll see rain and snow showers possibly into Wednesday. Right now, 34 and fair. I'm Claire Scott from the KSL Common Spirit House Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
You know, I've talked for years and I've worked for years in the criminal justice system, and we deal with cases, Holly, involving child abuse. And it's not often that a parent intentionally goes out to harm a child. But every once in a while, something happens and some conduct occurs that becomes so outrageous that the law does intervene, and the law does say, look, mom or dad, what you did took it over the just bad decision on the part of a parent and actually caused harm to a child. Now we're looking at a father who's facing serious charges for taking his kids on a 9-mile hike in a storm. Let's turn to KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson to tell us about what happened.
32-year-old Micah Smith told his 8-year-old daughter and his 4- and 2-year-old sons this 9-mile hike in Big Cottonwood Canyon was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But Salt Lake County District Attorney Sim Gill says even as the family saw some bad weather roll in, Smith kept pushing forward.
This was something the children were afraid to do as the storms came in, that the defendant pressed them on into changing conditions, whereby exposing them to the potential harm.
It rained, it hailed, and snowed. The 2-year-old hit his head at one point as they were heading back down, and the 4-year-old became unresponsive. The daughter said she had to help her dad perform CPR on the boys. They put together a makeshift shelter, and Smith and his daughter each hugged one of the boys to keep them warm and alive overnight. The next day, search and rescue crews found the kids, and the 4-year-old didn't have a pulse. He was resuscitated. The hospital later said his body temperature was 62 degrees. He and the 2-year-old were hospitalized in critical condition. Heather Peterson, KSL News Radio.
That's hard to hear.
Yeah.
That's hard to listen to. A human body at 62 degrees.
Yeah, that's not a good temperature.
I mean,
look,
my word.
I remember when the story first came out, right, that there were people missing in the mountains, and it was really, I think, during the first winter storm that we had here this fall. And now the dad has been charged with child abuse and child torture, if I'm understanding correctly.
Exactly. So there's one count of child abuse for each of the 3 children, 1 count of child torture for each of the 3 children. And because the severity of the injury was so much, these are first-degree felonies. I mean, this is the same level as a homicide. I mean, this man is facing 6 first-degree felonies. So child abuse occurs when a person knowingly or intentionally causes harm to a child. And it can also include that you had reason to know. I mean, it's not like you physically hurt a child or stabbed a child or something, but taking the kids, and this is the district attorney's theory of the case, and of course he's presumed innocent, that into that environment, knowing the dangers and yet proceeding with the dangers. And if you read this probable cause statement, it goes on and on and on. That the kids are saying, "Daddy, I'm cold. Daddy, this is miserable." One kid even says, "Daddy, are you going to kill us?
Are we going
to freeze to death?"
Yeah.
And then it they're doing CPR on a child. The temperature gets so bad that it just gets out of hand. And I know that your next question is, so how does this become child torture?
Right.
And the torture, when you look at the crime involving child torture, occurs once you know that the problem is occurring. Once you realize, hey, this is happening, and you keep pushing on, and there's some indication in this probable cause statement that dad's like, we're just 5 minutes to the top. It's just a few more miles to the top. And the kids are going, but we're not thriving. This is really bad. I mean, he's got a 2-year-old. Like, come on.
Yeah. So one thing I've learned from you is to read court documents. So I did.
This one breaks your heart.
It is. It's really sad. And one of the things that stood out to me was saying that they sent experienced hikers on the same route that this family was taking, and that only 2 out of 5 felt like they were confident in being able to retrace the steps that this family took. So it was a very, very difficult hike. I guess my question is, how does this go from dad made a really dumb decision to keep pushing to child abuse and child torture, and now he's in jail without bail?
Yeah, that's a tough one, because certainly dad didn't intend this to occur. And that's, usually when we deal with criminal conduct, you think, what was your intent?
And do we know that?
Well, we don't know. We know that he was on a mission to get to the top of the mountain, and he's going to he called it the trip of a lifetime for the kids. I don't know why you'd take a 2-year-old on a trip of a lifetime, because they're not going to remember it. Maybe the 4-year-old won't either. But he just keeps pushing. And the reason that this becomes criminal is because even mom is texting him saying, turn around, get those kids home. And the kids are saying, Daddy, this is bad. You're trying to kill us. I mean, at some point, his conduct becomes more than just an ego, more than just, hey, I'm trying to do something good for the kids. If you put your kids in danger, you can do one of 2 things. You can get them out. You can do whatever it takes to get them out of that, even if you were reckless, even if you were bad in the first place to expose them to that. So turn around, do what you can, get them out of there. Call 911, get
right.
what you can. But continuing to push the matter to say we're a little bit close to the top, let's get up there, and put the kids in this kind of jeopardy. The probable cause statement really does a pretty thorough job of helping you understand that even when Daddy apparently knew he was in trouble, he didn't do what he should have done to exacerbate that and to get the kids out of that situation.
Well, when you're teaching your 8-year-old how to perform CPR on a 4-year-old, that seems to me like you would have known maybe
Right.
this is a problem.
This is not going in the right direction. Yeah.
So what can we expect from this case now moving forward? He's been officially charged, right? He's being held without bail. What's the next step then?
So these are first-degree felonies. He's charged with 6 counts, 2 for each child, 1 torture, 1 child abuse, 1 for each kid. And the district attorney is asking that he be held without bail. These are not necessarily cases where you'd be held without bail. And I don't know what Dad's prior criminal history is, but the district attorney's office has come down very hard on this case. This is a case that could very well result in a jail or a prison term. I mean, and we're going to be watching to see how those kids turn out. I mean, 2 of them were in critical condition when they were found. One was at such a level of hypothermia that he was essentially
that one will not recover.
Dead, right? There are going to be problems with that for the rest of the child's life, and who knows what else is going to happen with these kids? Even the emotional baggage that they're going to carry for this, and I don't know. I mean, this is a case where the conduct is so bad that I wouldn't be surprised if he's guilty. Again, he's presumed innocent, that he would serve a prison term.
So one of the things I saw in the charging documents, or whatever the right word for him is, probable cause.
That's exactly right.
Is that the dad had to be removed from primary children's because he was up there, quote, interfering with his son's care and tampering with the equipment, right? So that seems like it might be an added charge, maybe on top of these other ones. I don't know.
Well, then it also goes to what his intent was.
Right.
It goes to, I mean, once your kids are in trouble, you get them help. Once they're at the hospital, you get them help. You do what you can, and you don't intervene with the hospital people. You know what I mean? How does that help anything?
Yeah.
So he's making a bad situation worse and worse and worse and worse, and it never seems to be getting better.
When is he going to be in front of a judge for the first time?
I think he'll have a court hearing this week. I mean, the allegations were alleged to have occurred back in October. It took a while for the DAs to file the case for whatever reason, and I think they were waiting to see what the condition of the children were going to be, because it could have very well been a child abuse homicide, and which would have been much more serious. So sometimes the DA's office will sit back and say, okay, let's look at what the result of your conduct is before we decide what to charge you with. Luckily, fortuitously, I guess, the situation wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it's about as bad as you can imagine.
It's still really bad,
Right.
yeah. All right, shifting back to politics, Utah Senator Dan Thatcher plans to resign before the 2026 legislative session. We've talked about that because he's a member of the Utah Forward Party, so they're shaking up Utah politics with a new way to fill the open seat, which has drawn attention. We're going to learn more from the Utah Forward Party after the break.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Utah can count on.
When it comes to your electrical system, do you know the warning signs to look for? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and it's okay if you don't know, but here are a few things that you might not even realize could be a sign of a bigger problem. Wall plates that are hot to the touch, discoloration around switches or outlets, if you hear crackling or popping or buzzing around switches or outlets, a breaker that trips a lot, switches that feel loose when you operate them, if your lights dim or flicker when a major appliance comes on, if your plugs fall out of the wall easily. You know, you're not supposed to have to bend the prongs out on a plug just to get it to stay in the wall. If you notice any of these things, you should consider having a licensed electrician check your system out. If you don't know anyone, Any Hour Services has put together a radio-only special for any homeowners listening. One of our licensed electricians will perform a comprehensive electrical inspection and give you a full written report for only $29. But you have to mention this ad when you call. To schedule your comprehensive electrical inspection by a licensed electrician for only $29, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7300. That's 801-443-7300. Any Hour Services.
Protect your home and auto by bundling them with Progressive, and you'll have a little less to worry about. But we know you'll find other things to worry about. Like that text you just got from your boss. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Hey, call me when you get a sec. Oh, hey, call me when you get a sec. Yeah, this is bad. Oh, well, at least you protected your home and auto with Progressive, so you don't have to worry about that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Welcome to Cricket Wireless. Santa?
I've got to get Mrs. Claus a gift or I'm in a whole lot of trouble.
How about a single unlimited line? Only $35, plus a free Moto G 5G.
Dude, you're a lifesaver. Here, take a present.
Says it's for Timmy in Des Moines.
Never heard of him.
Join Cricket Nation and get a single line for $35 per month, plus a free Moto G5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Requires activation of new line on select unlimited plan or higher. Pay $40 first month. New lines only. First month service charge. Tax to sale fees. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See cricketwireless.com for details.
From now through December, earn triple points with a rewards visa from Cyprus Credit Union. Shop for everything on your wish list and earn points. Start your application today at cypruscu.com.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. I'm here to warn you about telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Some of these scammers may say threatening things like you will be arrested if you don't make payments or provide personal information. Do not fall for these tricks. These calls are not from us. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you for information or money. If you receive a call like this, hang up. Never give the caller your personal information, like your Social Security number or bank account, or send money in any form, cash, gift cards, wire transfers, or prepaid debit cards. Report the call to our law enforcement arm, the Office of the Inspector General, at oig.ssa.gov. Share this information with your friends and family.
Inside Sources.
So as we start this segment, just know we're waiting for the first White House press briefing since last week's deadly shooting in D.C. that left one National Guard member dead and another injured. We're going to bring that to you when it happens. But until then, Utah Senator Dan Thatcher's going to resign before the 2026 legislative session. He's a member of the Utah Forward Party. And we have on the line with us Phil Boileau, the Utah Forward Party spokesperson. Hi, Phil. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Holly. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm wondering if you could just start by telling our listeners a little bit about the Utah Forward Party.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. Thanks for the opportunity. So first of all, the Forward Party of Utah is the state chapter of a national movement called the Forward Party. So here's the basic gist for the voters. I'll keep it simple. 50% of Americans broadly identify as politically independent, meaning they don't particularly associate with either the Democrat or the Republican Party. And if you poll them, 60% of Americans broadly say that they want to see a new political party in the United States. And so the Forward Party is building a party for those people specifically. To get into the details, it was founded in 2022 by a former presidential candidate, a Democratic presidential candidate named Andrew Yang, and the former Republican governor of New Jersey, Christine Todd Whitman, who both kind of saw and identified the same issues with American politics and the need for a third party.
So tell us, Phil, why we're here. So Senator Dan Thatcher plans to resign before the legislative session, and there's going to be an open seat. So what is the Utah Forward Party doing about that?
Thank you. Yes, we are very excited about this. As the scrappy young party in the state, we figured we needed to come with big ideas, and we think we've delivered to the people of Utah in this regard. As a context, most of the time when a member of the Utah legislature retires, we call that a midterm vacancy, and political parties have a lot of leeway to be able to do a vacancy appointment according to their bylaws, but there is a lot of flexibility as to how this occurs. The Republicans and the Democrats in Utah both use a system where the delegates kind of get together in a closed-door meeting, but we want to do things drastically differently. So we're inviting every member of the district, of Senator Thatcher's district, which is Senate District 11, to participate in a preference poll to sort of decide who our replacement is going to be. And that is going to be open to everybody in the district, crucially, regardless of party affiliation. So everybody's going to get an invitation to participate in this. So rather than a handful, let's say somewhere between 10 and maybe on the high side, 150 party delegates selecting the replacement, we're inviting all 70,000 registered members of the district to have a say.
So, Phil, this preference poll, is that like ranked choice voting or go ahead?
No. It's a great question, and I want to specify this. So So one of the sort of foundational values of the Forward Party is election reform. We believe that we can fix a lot of the problems of hyperpartisanship in American politics by adjusting the way that elections happen. Ranked choice voting is one idea for election reform, but the Utah Forward Party will not be using ranked choice voting here. There's another system that is similar but not the same, called approval voting, where rather than having to rank all the candidates, you just select all the candidates that you approve of. So rather than saying, so it's the same premise in that you can select more than one individual that you support. So there's going to be 5 candidates on the ballot. So if you approve of 2 or 3 of the candidates, you can cast a vote for 2 or 3 of those candidates, but you don't have to rank them in order 1, 2, 3. A lot of people are excited about approval voting. It's never been used in Utah before. This might be with the exception of, I want to say they use it in St. Louis for their municipal elections. This, I believe, is the next biggest use of approval voting, and we're really excited to showcase this to the people of Utah.
And how, Phil, were the 5 candidates selected?
So we opened the process up for a few weeks after we made the initial announcement that we were soliciting applicants, and we received a series of people who applied, and we did pair with the executive committee and had a process where we asked our central committee to sort of review the candidates based on the merits of our party's values, because we didn't want to overwhelm the ballot. We had 7 total people apply, but we made the decision that we wanted to pare that down to 5 because, frankly, asking the voters of the district to do homework on 7 candidates seemed a little bit overwhelming, and we wanted this to be a success. We ran our process based on we asked the non-voting members of our central committee and members of the district to sort of do a scoring. You can see all this on our website, 11chooses.com, if you want to get more into the details.
So I have to ask, is there opposition to you doing this replacement election in this way?
I have to say, so far, the results have been incredibly positive. We've been very transparent about our process, and kind of everybody thinks this is a good idea, right? I mean, this is a great way for everyone to get involved in the process. There's a lot of controversy as we speak, in particular over the redistricting battle on the congressional level, and we think that this is a breath of fresh air in terms of civic engagement in the state, and we've gotten nothing but positive feedback. If we do get opposition, we'll be ready for it, but we're really hoping we can make it through the next 2 weeks without any kind of opposition.
So help me again understand this, and we're talking about Phil Boileau, Utah Forward Party spokesperson. It's not ranked choice voting. It's sort of a yay or nay, and you can vote yay on any number of the candidates.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. That's it.
Okay, and so then it'll be maybe the most yay votes becomes the nominee.
Exactly. The candidate that receives the most votes wins. It's as simple as that. We understand that a lot of clerks are interested in this, and we hope that this will actually be a showcase for this style of voting that clerks all around the country can look at and decide whether it fits their own municipal or state level elections in the cycles to come.
You're making me nervous, Phil, because this makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Sort of makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you got something going here.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you what the time frame is on this.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. So so the way that the vote is going to work, let me tell you another interesting thing, Greg. And in case I haven't made you nervous enough, here's another fun one.
Sure.
We're going to be using an online voting system to do this. Our understanding is that this is going to be the largest use of an online voting system to elect a U.S. official in American history. And what that means, among other things, and I'm glad to get into the details of this for you, is that we're able to keep the vote open for a week. So every voter in the district is going to get a piece of mail that we expect to arrive Thursday or Friday that's going to have a specific code that they can use that's sort of tied to their record in the voter rolls that they'll be able to go to 11chooses.com and cast their vote from. And because of the online voting, because of instant tabulation, we're able to keep that voting open. So we expect it to basically people can start voting once they get that piece of mail, and it'll stay open until 9 p.m. Thursday, December 12th, which is going to be when we close the vote down and do the vote tabulation.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a really interesting process, and I'm wondering just logistically about the cost of putting on an election. Even just mailing out ballots or information to 70,000 people seems to be like it's not going to be insignificant.
You know, it's funny that you should ask. The cost of running this, we believe, I don't want to put a number out there and be wrong about that. We really value being a fact-based sort of party. We really want data to drive the decisions that we make. But I can say that our understanding is that when the clerk's offices in Utah, and this is broadly about true around the country, run a mail-in vote a mail ballot election, we understand the cost per voter to be about $2.50 per voter. We're able to run this at the cost of about, I want to say that all said and done, we should be able to run it for about 50 to 70 cents per voter. So we're talking about a significant savings in the cumulative cost. And that does include the cost of sending the mailer out, because it's not a return envelope mailer with all of the sort of security requirements that the mailed ballots have. The cost for printing and distribution is quite a bit lower.
Thank you, Phil. That was Phil Boylo from the Utah Forward Party. What an interesting concept.
Yep.
I hope I'll be interested to see how it works out and if it catches on at all. Speaking of catches on, it snowed yesterday. We drove from Torrey to Eden, two places that are at elevation. Got to see the snow and got to see other drivers trying to function with the snow. When we come back after the break, we're going to talk about tips to know when you're driving in the snow, especially since it seems to be coming.
11:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Claire Scott. KSL's top story this hour. A man is dead after getting hit by a car near 91 South Redwood Road. We now know the victim is in his 40s or early 50s, and he was not in a crosswalk when he was hit. Police tell us the driver of the car did remain on the scene and is cooperating with the investigation. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Luigi Mangione is back in court today. He's the man accused of shooting and killing the United Healthcare CEO. His lawyers are trying to get evidence against him thrown out due to the tactics made by police during Mangione's arrest.
The prosecutors are calling a number of witnesses. By some counts, they have more than 24 witnesses to call to firmly establish Mangione as the suspected shooter. And the defense has a couple of witnesses as well, as they try to argue that he was inappropriately searched and questioned to try to get some of that key evidence thrown out. This could be just the first day of a days-long hearing.
That's ABC's Aaron Kontersky outside the court. Your money at this moment, the Dow is down 168 points. The S&P is down 9 points. And coming up, more snow on the way. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 11:31.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
The Utah Mammoth and Smiths are teaming up to get you to the game. With qualifying Smiths purchases, you can score single goal view tickets, hot dog and a bottle of water included, for just $15. The catch? These tickets go fast. Download the Utah Mammoth app, enable push notifications, and be the first to know when new tickets are released. Shop at Smiths, then snag your seat for $15. Simple. Grab the Utah Mammoth app today and watch for the next release. Tusks up.
At Common Spirit Health, we know that lifelong health and well-being starts with primary care. So we have doctors and providers who see you, hear you, know you, and understand you. Because understanding you means understanding your needs. And that leads to a deeper knowledge of the prevention, wellness, and treatment options that may be best for you. It's primary care that treats your whole family like family. It's primary care with human kindness. Discover all the ways you can find and connect with a primary care provider at mountain.commonspirit.org.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids grow, new memes will come out. But also, what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you actually don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need the most, finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from threats online. Plus, you get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices with no one battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all your devices will be working in perfect harmony, and you get their best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, no strings. So even though your kids will grow up and you still won't understand 6-7, your internet will stay sharp, reliable, and most important, the price will stay put. All with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Here's Ricky Meeks.
A tow truck is on the scene. We're in the final cleanup stages with this crash in Weber County. It's at the ramp eastbound I-84 at Riverdale Road, and delays continue with road crews still on the scene, blocking a right lane eastbound I-80 approaching the Foothill and I-215 East Belt Junction. It is backing traffic not quite to 1300 East. Looking for the ultimate holiday gift? That's what you get at Minky Couture, the original luxury blanket company. Use code KSL50 online and in stores to receive 50% off. Visit minkycouture.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
We are going to take a break here and go to a White House briefing over the attacks of the National Guard troops in Washington, D.C. We're now hearing from White House spokesperson. We'll break away to Caroline Levitt.
Than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Sarah and Andrew are heroes, and we will never forget their sacrifice. That means ensuring the monster responsible for this atrocity is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and faces the most severe punishment possible. It also means reckoning with why this atrocity was allowed to happen in the first place, so that it may never occur again. Here are the facts. The terrorist who gunned down American soldiers blocks away from the White House in an ambush was an Afghan national who was flown into our country by Joe Biden's administration in September 2021 in the chaotic wake of their botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. One of the most embarrassing moments in the history of our great country. Joe Biden's historic failure in Afghanistan continues to haunt this country and our men and women in uniform. Not only did this surrender lead to a suicide bombing that killed 13 American heroes in Kabul, but now National Guard troops were shot on U.S. soil by the same kind of enemy. We continue to live with the deadly consequences of Joe Biden's horrific leadership. Nearly 100,000 Afghans were recklessly released into the United States with little to no vetting. There was no regard for the disorder and violence that this would unleash on American communities and American culture. Reportedly, thousands of these strangers and unknown individuals were flagged to the Biden administration for national security, public safety, and fraud concerns. But the terrifying truth is that the Afghanistan debacle is just a small part of Democrats' complete and total betrayal of the American people during the Biden years. The tragedy that we just witnessed the day before Thanksgiving is a reminder that untold thousands of terrorists, gang members, and criminals were invited into our country and remain here to this very day. The border is now secure, thanks to President Trump, but the threat in our interior remains real and urgent. These public safety threats are already inside our land, and President Trump was elected on a promise to find and remove them, and he has already taken significant steps and made significant progress towards fulfilling this promise. But there is more work to be done because President Trump believes that he has a sacred obligation to reverse the calamity of mass, unchecked migration into our country. As a result, the Trump administration is now actively re-examining all of the Afghans imported into the country by Joe Biden. Any individual who threatens our national security or our citizenry will be subject to removal. President Trump has already permanently paused migration of foreign nationals from third world countries that pose a very high risk to the United States. For too long, past American presidents supported self-destructive immigration policies that allowed foreigners who outright hate our country and have no interest in assimilating into our culture. We've
been listening to a White House briefing about the shooting by the Afghan national against several of our National Guard representatives, one of whom was killed in Washington, D.C. a couple days ago. We were expecting a press conference. It's sort of an introduction right now, and if we do get to questions and answers or from authorities who are involved in the investigation, we'll break away to that.
Yeah, that's great. So we were talking about snow, and you drove through it yesterday. One of the things that strikes me every year that there's snow on the roads is that people forget how to drive.
Yeah, so we have with us in studio Devin Mashuli, KSL meteorologist. Devin, we were down in the central part of the state in Torrey. We're driving up north here to Eden, where we live, and we were getting sort of conflicting reports on the weather's going to do this and that. And conflicting because, as you know, better than me, in Utah, it's sort of regional. You can be in one county and it's not too bad. You could be in another and it's another. But that was a little bit more of a storm than I had expected.
Yeah, the snow showers. I'm assuming you drove through some snow showers.
Yes, quite a few.
Yeah, it was really cold yesterday, and once you get like a heavier band, that can really bring the snow levels back down to the valley floors. I know we were kind of back and forth on precipitation type. We knew it would, start as rain, then change over to snow, or be at rain showers with snowflakes mixed in. So it really was like on that line where it could be kind of teetering back and forth, whether you were in the central valleys or the northern valleys. So it did pretty decent, though, for our first, measurable snowfall for the valleys, but it technically didn't get enough in Salt Lake City to break our snowless streak here. So the mountains were about 4 to 8 inches, and a couple of benches are about 2 to 4 inches yesterday.
Okay, so those of us that are involved in the ski industry, we're hanging by a thread here. When's the snow coming? When's the snow coming? What can you tell us, Devin, about our ski resorts? What did they see, if anything?
Yeah, so Snow Basin had 8 inches. Alta had 7, and then there were several resorts like Deer Valley, Snowbird, and Brighton that had about 6 inches. And with the 6 inches of snow that we got, Brighton is still going to have their opening day tomorrow. So luckily, a lot of cold air came in behind the storm, so they have the snow guns on. They're trying to keep what they've gotten yesterday, and we have more, at least, coming tomorrow. The storm that we have coming through tomorrow through Wednesday is very similar to Sunday's storm. It'll kind of come in 2 pieces, so it's a little bit different with the timing. I mean, Sunday's storm kind of came all at once, and we had a few lingering showers here or there, but tomorrow's will kind of come in 2 pieces. One in the morning and then one more so in the late afternoon, early evening. It looks like the evening piece is a little bit more potent than the morning one.
Thank you. That was Devin Mashuli, KSL meteorologist. And we also have with us on the line UHP to talk to us about driving in the snow. It's Sergeant Mike Alexander. Do you have one key tip for people when it snows on how to be safe drivers?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that they could do is to just slow down. I know it's one of the basic items. I know we talk about it all the time, but it absolutely is the best driving technique that they can employ to keep themselves and other people safe. But just slow down, and that'll give you a little bit of extra time to respond to things ahead of you.
And Sergeant Alexander, a lot of Utahns have their 4-wheel drive vehicles. That's not necessarily enough when it gets really slip sliding, is it?
No, we talk about four-wheel drive and the confidence that it gives drivers to travel in adverse weather conditions, but it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference in terms of control. And again, it doesn't make it so that you can travel, faster than what's safe. And so it's important to slow down, especially if you have tires that need replacement. Let's take a look at those and replace those so you have plenty of tread, plenty of traction to be able to slow down. Four-wheel drive isn't going to help you slow down any faster. And so, it may be a little bit of a false confidence that four-wheel drive gives folks out driving around, but it's important just to employ actual safe driving techniques.
And then one final question. What do we do if we start sliding?
Yeah, so the worst possible thing that you could do is slam on your brakes, just very measured control techniques. Sometimes it's that counter steering. It takes a little bit of practice, so it might be something that you go someplace safe and practice in a parking lot somewhere where it's legal to do so, just to give yourself the muscle memory in order to respond safely if you do start sliding. Don't jam your brakes. Don't hit the gas. Everything needs to be just very controlled movements.
Thank you so much. That was Sergeant Mike Alexander with the UHP about driving on snow. And I have one quick story for you. When I was 16 years old, we lived in Michigan. We got northern Michigan. We got 126 inches of snow the first winter that we lived there. And I am driving my family's van. It starts fishtailing. And I flipped the van and took out a neighbor's mailbox. I was okay, but the van was not okay.
Yeah, I like what he said about practicing.
Practice.
Go someplace where it's a little bit safe. Don't do donuts in your neighborhood parking lot or anything like that.
No, but the church, and I see people out there.
At least you get a feel for what it's like when your vehicle starts to slide.
Yeah. Coming out of it. Okay, so when we come back, we actually have today's KSL kindness story that we want to highlight. Provo MTC missionaries assembled 500,000 meals. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about fun facts of the day. Stay with us.
You probably know if you need new windows. You hear the wind whistling. There's condensation between the panes. Maybe your heating bill's too high, but you don't want to pull the trigger because it costs a lot of money. I understand. And they understand at Advanced Window Products. After all, they've been creating custom state-of-the-art windows right here in Salt Lake for 39 years. They know what's up. That's why they offer 60-month 0% financing or buy now, pay later. You get the windows this winter for 30 to 40% less because you're buying straight from the factory. They'll build, they'll install your windows, and you don't have to pay for a year or more. At Advanced, they're committed to making your new windows affordable. And if you call now, they'll knock another $2,500 off your quote. State-of-the-art, energy-saving windows built here for Utah's changing climate. And right now, $2,500 off. Call for a quote, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or go to advancedwindows.com.
Winter is here, if you were driving last night, and many kids here in Utah don't have the warm coats and sturdy shoes that they need to get through the next few cold months.
KSL's Quarters for Christmas has been helping local children for years, turning your donations into warm coats and shoes for kids right here in our community.
And every dollar you give goes directly toward providing coats and shoes for kids who need them most. It's easy to make a difference. Just go online to kslquarters.com, donate what you can, and know that you're helping keep a child warm this winter.
Please join us in spreading a little comfort and a lot of kindness with KSL's Quarters for Christmas.
KSL offers the best daily newsletter in the state. It's the 3 things you need to know. Every weekday, we deliver quality and relevant content to your inbox. No ads, no spam, just the 3 things you need to know to be informed about the world around you. Subscribe today. Visit KSLNewsRadio.com or text the word INBOX to 57500. That's INBOX to 57500.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
A stiff chair makes you sit. An X chair lets you float. Upgrade to an X chair, engineered for better posture and focus. The secret? patented lumbar support that adjusts instantly. SiFloat Infinite Recline that moves effortlessly with you. X-Chair is next-level ergonomic seating that truly floats. Right now, you can save up to 50% with the X-Chair Holiday Sale. Supplies are limited, so visit xchair.com today for up to 50% off. That's xchair.com.
Ebenezer Scrooge, you have yet a chance of escaping my fate. Ah, humbug. You still have time to get a Mountain America Rewards credit card and earn 3 times the points on every dollar spent, but only through the stroke of midnight on December 31st.
I suppose I can learn to enjoy the holidays with triple rewards.
Apply today and learn more at macu.com/triple.
Membership required based on eligibility. Loans on approved credit offer can change or be withdrawn at any time. Limited time offer. Business cards not eligible.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. For 70 years, Les Olson IT has been helping Utah businesses thrive with reliable technology solutions and expert IT support, strengthening communities and empowering growth across the state. Owner and Chief Business Development Officer Troy Olson joins us with more.
Les Olson IT has long been Utah's trusted office technology partner. What began with Les Olson himself has grown into a mission that still guides us today, helping businesses succeed through reliable technology and exceptional service. Our values are rooted in integrity, family, and community. As Les believed, strong relationships and genuine care are the foundation of lasting partnerships. That's why we put people first. Our employees, our customers, and the communities we serve. Printers and copiers have long been a part of our story, and for over a decade, we've also delivered the IT services and support businesses rely on. Today, our solutions include burglar alarms, digital displays, cameras and cabling, computers, servers, and IT hardware, all designed to keep your business running at its best. At Les Olson IT, we are more than a technology provider. We're your partner in growth, built on a legacy of trust and values that endure.
Les Olson IT helps keep Utah's organizations running at their best, driving innovation, efficiency, and technology excellence across the state. Their work touches industries and communities alike. Learn more at lesolson.com. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
The new Inside Sources.
For today's KSL Kindness Story, we want to highlight Provo MTC Missionaries, which is the Missionary Training Center. They assembled 500,000 meals. So our KSL Kindness campaign is powered by One Kind Act a Day, which is a project by the Somnani Family Foundation. You can learn more at powerofkind.org. We're joined in studio right now by Sarah Weaver, the editor of the Deseret News. And Sarah, I saw the headline, and it was like, I couldn't believe the number. In fact, when I was telling Greg, I thought it was 50,000. No, it's 500,000 meals assembled by these missionaries spending their Thanksgiving in the MTC.
Yeah, isn't this remarkable? And it actually, when you break it down, it's more than 20,000 family food boxes. These are boxes that have shelf-stable food that can last for 2 days for a family of 4. And so when you do the math, it actually equals 500,000 meals. And it is remarkable to have young people doing this on Thanksgiving.
Who are the beneficiaries? Where will these go?
These are going to go to Utah food pantries, including Tabitha's Way. This is the aim of this project is to serve local communities that are underserved and that may need food, especially during the holidays.
That's really remarkable. How many missionaries are in the Missionary Training Center right now? Do you know?
Well, at any given time, there's between 2,000 and 3,000 elders and sisters that are receiving their training. Holidays are an interesting time because the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints does not ever take a week off of having missionaries enter the Missionary Training Center. So even the week of Christmas, missionaries enter the Missionary Training Center and then spend Christmas there. And young men serve for 2 years, so they're gone 2 holiday seasons. And there is this desire on holidays to turn their attention to something that's good. And the elders and sisters like it themselves. And so service becomes a natural remedy for missing your family or being away from them on days. They also have a tradition of doing something similar at Christmas.
I love how you said receiving their training, because some of their training could actually include service.
Yes.
I mean, this is what a great message for them to go out and even before they go out and do their missionary service, to do the community service right here at home.
Yeah, my daughter served her Latter-day Saint mission in Cincinnati, Ohio. We were just there a few weeks ago, and one of the things she was telling us about was her service at a food pantry. And she went to this pantry every single week, and it had impacted her in a very, very profound way, because the person who ran this food pantry, they arrived one day just before Thanksgiving 5 years ago when she was in Cincinnati. And it was snowing, and he said, no one's going to come today. And yet they looked outside, and there was a man out there without shoes, and the person who was running the food pantry took off his own shoes and gave them to this person. And so this sets people up to have these type of experiences, to let them know that you're not just out there trying to teach people about Jesus Christ, but you're expected to live as he would have lived.
I think one of the things that I have noticed, and it might be anecdotal, but it seems like now proselyting missionaries also have a service component to their missions, and we also have service missionaries. So our family had 8 missionaries, but 2 of them were service missions.
Yeah, so missionaries serve in different ways, depending on where they're called and what their mission president and other mission leaders want them to do. But the hope is that all missionaries will fill much of their time with service.
What were these meals? What was provided, or do you know?
Well, these are meals that could stay in a pantry, that don't need refrigeration. So you're thinking about beef stew in a can, peanut butter, rolled oats, canned tuna, and these are things that came from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Bishop Central Storehouse, which is located just a few blocks from here in downtown Salt Lake City.
500,000 meals.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Can I ask you a question about the Bishop Storehouse then? Where did they get these supplies to be able to then donate to the MTC for them to package?
Yeah, the church has a network of welfare canneries and farms and other things that produce food and process food, and then store food in places where they can be most helpful. And so we have the church has Bishop Central Storehouses located in many locations across the United States. And then local members or any organization needing to respond to a natural disaster, such as a hurricane in the South, can go and get those supplies that are often needed in those different times.
Sarah, we've been talking to some of the leaders of our pantries and the kitchens about the need for this. I imagine they were so excited to get this contribution.
Oh yeah, and I think it's very sweet that the missionaries were doing something that was going to serve the local community. You've seen this in other kinds of things. We mentioned that I had just been in Cincinnati. I was there for the BYU Cincinnati football game. Well, just before the game, the church sent a huge truckload of items from their central storehouse that actually stocked the shelves of the food pantry on the Cincinnati campus.
It was one of their largest contributions ever in their history.
And that is going to help vulnerable students there, just the way the missionaries here were packing family food boxes for people here who need food.
Yeah, I was seeing too, and this is another church news story, but about the 250 semis that will be going out across the nation for the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And so, as you pointed out, there's lots of ways that it's affecting local communities.
Yeah, isn't that a wonderful way to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the founding of this nation? To be able to say, we're going to send 250 semi-truckloads to locations across the United States to help the most vulnerable.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us, Sarah. This is Sarah Weaver, editor of the Deseret News. And just before we end our show today, I have a couple of fun facts for you.
Good.
So it's Cyber Monday, as we mentioned. It's also World AIDS Day, and this is why. In 1981, the AIDS virus was officially recognized on December 1st, 1981. So it's considered, in the United States, it's considered a chronic disease, but worldwide, it is still a killer of a lot of people worldwide.
44 years.
Yeah. Okay, so here's another fun fact. In 1824, the presidential election goes to the House of Representatives to decide because no candidate received the majority of the electoral votes. The House made the decision to put John Quincy Adams in as president. So isn't that funny? We've talked about that before, about what happens if the Electoral College, if nobody gets the majority. And it actually did happen in 1824.
Could that still happen?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
it could still happen. So in 1878, the first White House telephone was installed. That's interesting, right? In 1941, this would have been 6 days before Pearl Harbor was bombed, but Japanese Emperor Hirohito signed a declaration of war. So he was, I guess, giving a heads up. In 1955, this is a fun one, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus to a white man.
Today's the day.
Today is the day in 1955. So
70 years ago.
That's right. That's right. And then in 1990, this is a football one, Ty Detmer won the Heisman.
That's right. BYU quarterback Ty Detmer won
That's
the
right.
Heisman Trophy.
In 1990. And then in this one, in 2019, the earliest traceable patient, who was a 55-year-old man, developed symptoms of a novel, meaning a new, coronavirus in Wuhan, China. December 1st, 2019.
The rest is history.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so those are our fun facts of the day. We have started December and we're headed full blast into holiday season.
And be careful of the weather. Apparently, there's still some more snow coming. Well, that's it for Inside Sources today. Midday with Maria Shileos is up next with all of today's news, including the latest on a fatal auto pedestrian accident in West Jordan that occurred this morning. Stay here with us on KSL News Radio.